What's up? Welcome to your favorite podcast, The Ain't Shit Show, the home of booze, views, and unpopular opinions. I want to thank y'all for joining us for episode 100.
A buck on you fucks. I've been waiting an hour to say that. A buck on you fucks. All right.
My name is Fresh, and I'm one half of the pod gods, and with me is my favorite man in all the podcast land, Mr. B here.
Hello. Hope you're all well. Good talking to you. It's been a long ride to get here, but we got here.
Oh,
in
man.
more than one way. Shout out to everybody.
Right. B, look. Listen, we're on episode 100, but before we get into all that, I just might as well introduce the laughs in the background right now. Today for episode 100, we have some Black Girl Magic in the building. We have the host of the Sleuth podcast and owner of Black Man Detective Agency, Miss Jamie, aka Agent J. What's up?
Woo! Yes, I love it.
Did you just come up with that?
Hello.
Is that who you've been saying you are?
It just came up last night.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we like it.
I like it.
That's
and Jamie's. It should be positive.
That's
like
Jamie's James Bond name. Jamie Bond.
Yes.
Jamie Bond. That's
cool.
Hey.
Write that down.
Yeah, I like that.
Write that down. Listen, I'm gonna need my cut when you on this trademarking and all that, on the merch and all that. We're gonna need that over here at the Ain't Shit Show podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But
we
yeah,
do t-shirts, so
I bet we need some t-shirts or something. We need something. Hey, how y'all doing, man? How, Jamie, how are you? Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I've been thinking about this all day, so I'm glad to finally be here, be on.
Glad to have you. Welcome. Well, to the debauchery and the fuckery that goes on every Tuesday night.
I'm ready to curse and drink.
Well, plenty of that.
Yeah. Do you get the curse and drink on your podcast?
We have a little beverage or two. We don't go too hard, but we do have a curse word or two fly through there. It happens. B Hill's episode had a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
I got a little review on that, but
that'll be fine.
You know what? It's podcasting.
Yeah.
Tell them to suck it up. You'll be all right.
It'll be fine. It was only 50 minutes.
It's not the first time you've heard a cuss word.
So a couple weeks back, B was on the Sleuth podcast with Jamie, and as you can hear,
and her co-host,
it went left.
Her co-host.
I'm gonna say, don't forget about Lindsay.
So, matter of fact, before we get into it, tell us about your podcast, and we'll get into your PI stuff later. But let's talk about your podcast. Tell us about the Sleuth podcast.
All right, okay. So the Sleuth podcast is a true crime / comedy / real life podcast about me and Lindsay, who is one of the investigators that works at Blackman. And we just kind of talk about our cases and life and just kind of how PIs can help people in their everyday lives, also in businesses and stuff. So it's an awesome platform for us to do some marketing and kind of relax a little bit. It's not too, formal. So
what made y'all do a podcast?
I have always loved podcasts since probably 3 or 4 years ago. I got onto the podcast thing, and Lindsay actually met a gentleman at a networking group, Joe Woolworth, who does Relevant Media Solutions. He is our podcast producer, and he's like, I've never done a podcast with PI, so are you guys interested? And we were like, yeah. We are on everything: Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Pandora. Pretty much everywhere you get your podcast.
That's dope.
So
that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. My co-host didn't disrupt y'all podcast too much, did he?
Yeah.
With his shenanigans.
I actually enjoyed it. Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Of course he's enjoyable.
Yeah.
One of the goats around this bitch, you know what I mean?
I hear that.
He tried to steal the whole pie god thing. He wasn't for that.
Nah,
good job, B. Good job.
Goddesses.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Pod goddesses.
Right. No. Y'all gotta do your own PI thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Agent J and the other one.
She came up with something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe I'll remember it later.
Yeah. That's what's up, though.
That's what's up. So how y'all been? How was y'all MLK weekend? Jamie, how was your MLK weekend?
I worked.
You worked?
So, yeah.
Boo!
Well, she on her
Working
own business, so it's a little different.
So.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta work
working.
every day, huh?
Yeah, a little catch-up day. So it was good. My lady at the office, Tanya, she's been sick and not feeling well. So she kind of was doing much, much better. She brought a breathing machine into the office with her. And so
yeah, damn, she had a CPAP
machine.
machine.
That lady, she was dedication.
Wait, CPAP machine is for when you sleeping.
I know. She brought it to work.
Hey.
No, it's her like nebulizer thing.
I know.
Make sure she could breathe and stuff. No, I don't know. If she got a CPAP at the office, we got a problem.
Yeah. Right. Wait, what y'all benefits look
she got
like?
What kind
CPAP
of
benefits? What is her nationality? Is she
she's
black?
Caucasian.
She's Caucasian? Oh. I was about to accuse her of sleeping at work. To need that CPAP, but
she has caught a nap or two. Look, she has caught a nap or two. She would die if I told you. Yeah, but that's okay. You know, as long as you get your work done, you know, I can't judge you for having a Z or two.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, mine was what did I do? I ain't do shit yesterday. I just kicked it. It was cold as a bitch, so I ain't really do too much.
100. It was cold.
Nobody marched.
Nah.
No marching.
He did that for us already. Martin Luther King marched for us.
I didn't have my hard bottoms. They were like, so I didn't feel like I should march in sneakers. I think it would be an
marching sneakers.
So
them Air Marches.
Yeah, 11. I didn't have any Air Marches. But I ain't do shit. I took my mama to get her hair done, and that was it. I came back to the crib. It was cold, and then I did go see fucking Bad Boys over the weekend. That shit was excellent, in my opinion.
Was it?
Yeah,
it made a lot of money.
You ain't like it?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it? I thought you.
I was supposed to go see it. So what had happened was, look, y'all both gave me the black. So what had happened was, you know, got all ready, had my snacks to sneak in, you know what I'm saying? we hit the movies, and I was supposed to go see, just like we planned on last week's show, B. I was supposed to see Just Mercy for the for the 15. And then I was going to see Bad Boys for the free reparations. See, you know, it worked like that. But I got there, and actually I was on CP time. The movie was already 11 minutes in.
Oh, you missed all the credits. I mean, all the previews.
Well, the movie had started. So he was like, we was 11 minutes into the movie. And so he was like, but you still probably good. I'm like, nah, cause that's where you tell the backstory in them 11 minutes. Like, why we here? You know, what happened? How'd you get your hair like this in this fro in this jail? Like, I want to know all that. Like, what happened?
You'd have been good.
Yeah, I ain't know that though. And I ain't want to risk it. I ain't want to be in there for the rest of the movie wondering. And then I couldn't lean over and ask somebody, hey, what happened? You know what I'm saying? We already didn't know what happened. So we dipped. We said we was going to come back. And go to the 6:30 movie, and I don't know what happened. Yeah, it kind of went awry, and I fell asleep, and I didn't make it. That's the moral of that story. I didn't make it.
Disappointing.
I know, right? And I wanted to see it. I'm still gonna see it though.
And you got an Africa shirt on.
Yeah, man. I still love Africa.
You gotta take it off. You ain't March, or you ain't go see the movies.
Cause I ain't support.
Yeah, you're not black today.
Hey, shit! I pay my black ass bills. I'm black all day. You crazy?
My black ass bills.
Yeah, I paid. I don't care.
But I had a good weekend though. Overall, I had a really good weekend. I did a few things. You know, it was good times. It was good times.
You said you saw Just Mercy, Jamie.
Yes,
how do you think
per your recommendation, sir.
Yeah. Look at me changing lives.
I listen to.
How'd you like it?
Boo-hooed. You know, I'm really emotional when it comes to like movies and stuff. And like, you know, I work this hard job. So I feel like, you know, I cried when they let those people. Oh, do I need to spoil?
Yeah, let's not spoil it.
No, I want no spoilers. You can give us your emotions without the story.
So
I mean, it's a documentary.
When I went into the movie, there was a whole bunch of old white people. Mm-hmm. So I was very confused, and I thought that I was in the wrong movie. So I had to like check my ticket, look it up, make sure that Just Mercy was what I thought it was, and it was.
You thought you was in Schindler's List?
I didn't know where I was. I was like, why ain't no black people in here? Didn't they realize that this was for us?
Nah, that's the whole reason. White people know our history way better than we do.
That's what I'm saying. When the lady, she was crying next to me, I was like, girl, that was good, woman. And she was like, yes. And they had their little ear. I mean, they were really old. They had like earphones on. I've never seen. They had like headset. They had
what? She went to a
headset. Yeah, they had like headsets on. It was like 3 older white ladies, and they all had their headsets on. I'm assuming it was so that they could hear better. But I was trying to figure out what the problem would be, considering that we were in the theater.
Like what?
I went to Raleigh Grand.
You went to Raleigh Grandma. That's where you went.
I went to the matinee, so yeah, I hit the like 4:20 showtime. So we never can make the 4:20 movie.
Oh shit!
Unless we have like children or something. So, but
damn,
yeah, but it was excellent. I enjoyed it. I was like, felt Black Power.
Yeah, so it was
excellent, and I just felt like we just need to do better. And there are people out here working for us, and we just gotta
utilize them and
wake up.
Yeah, wake up. It's a really good movie. So that's the second person to champion that. Go see it.
I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Yeah,
I haven't heard not one bad review.
Ain't nothing bad about it. Like them niggas did an excellent job.
Bad about it.
Excellent job. Yeah,
they did a great job. So it was awesome. They should win all the awards. I don't know if it'll be considered. It came out like, I don't know how that whole nomination for Grammys, them not Grammys, Oscars, and all that other shit comes out because they came out late. But maybe it'll qualify for 2021, I guess.
Yeah, it'll probably qualify.
They probably done forgot about it. But
that's a fact.
They probably said that at the wrong time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I can't let my guy Jamie Foxx leave without his things. I rode for Jamie Foxx last week, and he needs all of his awards, all of his everything, because I think Jamie Foxx is great. I think Jamie Foxx is one of the best to do it.
That's
in my opinion.
That's awesome.
How do y'all feel about the MLK flyers, the party flyers?
It's just the struggle of being black. Like, goddamn, like as much as I love us, I hate us as equal. Damn, it's about 60-40. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
And that varies.
Right,
like,
depending on the day.
Yeah, it could pendulum swing one way or the other. Like, goddamn, shit. But I'm kind of at this point, I'm kind of like used to it. I mean, I expect it. But niggas had Martin shooting and shit, like with the fucking
right, man, get the gat challenge.
Yeah, I'm like, come on,
no,
bro. Yeah, I seen
okay, I didn't see any flyers.
You didn't see the flyers?
Well, no, I have a friend who marches every year, and I saw the little flyer that they had out there at the.
Oh
thing.
No, you're talking about a nice, respectable.
Yeah, no, we talking about
MLK related event.
Like we talking about MLK parties.
Right, we talking about
past all that. I ain't want no parts of that. So
yeah, we talking about like twerk for justice parties. Like we talking about these flyers. It was one flyer where Martin Luther King was in a photo with Sweetie with Just My Type playing in the background. Like it was just. I get it. Like as black people, we make lemonade. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make a joke out of everying, which we are pretty damn funny.
But that ain't funny.
Some things, kind of go over the line. Like what B said with the whole gat, like all that. Like that's a little bit much. Like with the do-rag on, like it's don't do that though. But
they have Mike with the do-rag.
Man, they had him with the do-rag, everything, man. Y'all got
he was
chill,
non-violent.
Man.
Yeah, like he was non-violent. He ain't had no pistol. Come on. Well, no, he probably did have pistols though. I think he did actually have pistols. I think in that.
But he didn't use it though.
In protest and shit, yeah. He was armed at his house. The King of the Wilderness, if you haven't seen that since it's MLK Day, I've already mentioned it, but it's on HBO. You should watch that shit. It chronicles the last 18 months of his life, and that shit, like he certainly changed. It would not have a dream. He woke up. So it was really good. If you haven't seen it, like I said it before, but that's kind of what it is. Like his homeboys was telling the story, and they were like, he had a dream, but he woke the fuck up from that dream. You know what I mean? So it's really dope. If you had a chance to check it out, give it a shot.
What's the name of it again, B? Give him the name of it again.
King in the Wilderness. King in the Wilderness of the Wilderness, one or the other, but I can't remember specific. But it's King something Wilderness. So came on HBO. I don't know where else you can get it at, but it's really dope though.
Gotcha. Y'all check that out. Do y'all ever volunteer for MLK or do anything like?
Nah, I don't.
Be like, nah.
I just take off work. You know what I'm saying, and enjoy it.
How you gonna take off for another nigga birthday?
I know.
Hey, that was mad funny. I know when, we used to work at the old spot, they were very big on like volunteering and stuff like that. So I feel like I used to do more than when I actually moved to Atlanta, the home of MLK. Now I'm just like, appreciate you, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we should do a little bit more though.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're doing stuff all around, it's kind of like Valentine's Day, right?
It's cold.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen.
It's always the coldest day ever whenever it's Martin Luther King.
Bruh.
Yeah. It's like 20 degrees. You wake up, it's 20 degrees. It hadn't been this cold in a month.
It ain't been cold.
Listen up,
this
guys.
is the first time it's cold.
Listen up, guys. It's called winter. It's always been in winter. Like,
I know. They need to change
understand that it's in winter.
Somebody said that. I seen that shit on Instagram. Nigga was like, all right, can we move MLK Day to a hot day? Like, when he was outside and shit? Cause that nigga went outside now.
Cause we should have a barbecue for MLK Day. It's only right.
That's a fact.
We should be on the grill for MLK Day. So I'm thinking like we can move to like early May.
I was thinking like mid-April, like around Easter.
Mid-April.
Like
Easter.
Just running into
Jesus,
Easter.
MLK.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they partners. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Not Jesus is my homeboy. You remember that was the thing?
Yeah.
Jesus is my homeboy. You're like, yeah, I do.
I do.
Oh man, MLK. I'm with all that. I'm with all that. Like I said, my company just started recognizing it, so I was happy.
That's dope.
Just to get that off. B, I want to ask you real quick before we go on to Brown and Proud. I saw today that the Grammys is doing a Nipsey Hussle tribute on Sunday. Shout out to that.
I guess I'm not really. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
like
not.
YG.
It's gonna be mass. Like that shit gonna be stiff. I think. I mean, I know YG gonna get busy and Link's gonna get busy.
It's YG, Kirk Franklin, John Legend, Meek Mill, Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, it might be all right. I'm gonna watch it. And I'm appreciative of my boy. You know what I'm saying? I just posthumously, I guess, getting whatever he getting.
Kirk Franklin, what's Kirk gonna do?
I don't know. They gonna see some gospel song. He probably gonna. I don't know. He gonna Millie rock.
Or it might be Plaid. Kirk Franklin always fucking Millie rocking.
That bitch love the Millie rock. You should have told that nigga that dance. He might. What's the new shit? He might do the Gat Challenge too on the nigga.
Facts. He might do the Gat Challenge. Or that shit that's off of that, go. What's the, damn, I forget the fucking challenge name, but they've been doing that on Instagram too.
I ain't seen
that. You done seen it. You done definitely seen it.
Oh, the shit they be like
doing
that shit like this and this. All that shit.
Yes.
I know you're talking about. I don't know what that song
Where
is.
you looking like the, nigga from the used cars lot. The air thing that be waving his arm.
That challenge.
Yeah. That challenge, the used car lot challenge.
That's
funny. But yeah, like, how did Kirk Franklin get to do all these secular dances to this gospel is what I need to understand.
I don't know, man.
Well, his back history is a little secular at times.
Cause he like,
everybody
got some little backslide.
Everybody got a little Malcolm Little in them.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
He's got to keep up with pop culture.
What you say?
I say he's got to keep up with pop culture a little bit. So, a little something. His whole thing is about
trying to make it relevant and shit.
Gap. Yeah.
I can dig it. Fuck it. Millie rock your ways.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah, Millie rock your way.
I love me a good Kirk Franklin song.
Not for nothing. Kirk got bops though.
Kirk do got bops.
He
don't have more bops than Mary though.
Nah. I don't think so.
All right. Mary got gospel joints you listen to in the club.
Yeah, God in Me is fire.
God in Me, Shackles is lit.
Yeah, Shackles lit. Have you heard it's a DJ down around here. I think he worked with K97. DJ, I don't know what his name, don't give me the line, but he be doing Never Would Have Made It, and he blends He blends. What's the name?
Bruh, yeah.
And what's the shit?
Yeah.
With the squeaky bed, Trillville.
Yes.
What is
Yeah,
that?
but that
here.
shit is so fire.
That shit is fire, but I be always feeling like I'm going to hell. I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm gonna let y'all twerk though.
You ain't gotta twerk. You can just rock. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna twerk.
Little
They
two-step.
twerking. I'm never twerking. Like, that's not in
That
my
don't work,
ministry
right?
either.
Yeah.
We don't twerk.
Nigga, you act like you like,
Well,
yeah,
we
don't
yeah,
twerk,
I see
twerk,
you twerking. Twerking. Look like twerking.
That'd be
I
so
look like
wild
a
if you start
twerking ass
twerking.
bitch. That would be wild. That was wild to me if I started twerking.
Yeah,
For
damn.
sure.
Motherfucker turned up in this bitch.
Look, me twerking and you twerking is gonna be the same thing. Cause it ain't happening.
I got you.
Cause it ain't happening. I'm not a twerker. Jamie, you a twerker?
No.
She
Nope.
lied.
Yeah.
No, I'm not lying.
You done
When the
twerked
henny's
before.
in the system, ain't
I
no
have.
telling.
I mean, nope.
You've never
You
twerked.
won't be finding me twerking.
She got a
I
kid.
mean,
She
at
definitely
home.
twerk.
At home.
Oh, you been there
in
twerking
front
good.
of nobody. Practicing.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah,
but
you got
you won't
Jamie,
catch me in public.
you got
What?
the you got the Megan Stallion
She
knees or
used to
no?
twerk back at in black ties.
Don't you dare bring it back up on
black
Jamie definitely used to twerk in black ties.
Black tie.
I used to come out there sweaty now. You know.
Look, B, was this before she got a swimming pool of sunshine and love? She was
Yeah,
she was ratchet.
yeah, she was ratchet. Fresh off the porch.
This
I
was
was not.
pre-aromatherapy. Gotcha.
Total shit.
Gotcha.
Yep. Oh, there was some aromas. There was some aromas in that motherfucker. Wasn't no lavender.
You were absolutely right. Woo. That was some good times though, the black
Sure.
ties
Black
times.
ties was
Shout
wild.
out to black
I enjoyed it.
ties, man. Everybody got black ties memories.
That's a fact.
No man.
You not from or ever lived in that area if you ain't ever been to black tie.
That's a fact.
Right.
And God bless you
Absolutely.
for making it out.
Yeah.
And being
You are
able to
absolutely
tell it.
right.
I know
There was
plenty,
a couple of
there's
nights I
plenty
had to,
niggas done died and all
right.
type of shit.
I had to low crawl to my damn car.
Oh shit.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Black
You
ties.
didn't even know. God was
I ain't
training
even know I was
you.
gonna need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely right.
Yeah,
This
look
is
at you.
practice for the future.
The
That's
universe is always working.
Always.
You thought you was gonna get
Always.
shot. You was training for your next job.
Right.
That's what was
Let me
going
tell you,
on.
it was one low crawl and I never went back. So that was enough for
That
me.
shit was
I
wild.
don't need to make it home.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, y'all wow. Brown and Proud, we're gonna get into that. For Brown and Proud, two of our favorite pop culture icons is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Legendary singer Whitney Houston, Nippy Houston.
Yes.
Hey, and and Notorious B.I.G. are both being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on May 2nd in Cleveland. Shout out to them. Fan.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to them. Big Papa, Smash Crews, Blast Throughs.
Hey. That's it?
Forgot. I didn't know the rest.
It's all good. It's all good, maybe.
Y'all should've
I
seen
know you
y'all
got
face,
some
though.
vocals for us next.
Y'all should have seen y'all face. Y'all was just looking like, what's up?
I was like, oh,
That was
okay.
funny. All right.
Oh, man. Episode 100. Y'all,
Yeah.
episode 100. This how we do.
A buck when you fucks.
Hey, next up, Mariah Carey. You want to sing for us?
What would you like to hear?
I want to hear Honey by Mariah Carey.
And it's
And it's
just
just
like honey when you've been sat in front of me.
I don't know if those
Stevie
words
J
are
wrote that.
correct. I wasn't gonna say shout out to Stevie J, but I feel weird. Mariah Carey, Isley Brothers, and the Neptunes are among the 2020 inductees into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I fuck with that.
So
Cool.
shout out to them.
Is Ron Isley still alive?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you
Don't
just kill Ron Isley?
I'm asking a question.
Don't do that.
You thinking about Gerald Levert?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking about Ron Isley.
I love Gerald.
I'm thinking about Ron Isley. Yeah, I don't
Love
know, bro.
Gerald.
Y'all might not be right. Hold on.
Look at
All
that.
this stuff.
No,
he
Ron
has not
Isley
died.
is alive.
He has not
You're
died.
contagious, Ron Isley. You're contagious. Touch me, baby. Give me what you got.
When a man says, ain't no man
touch
saying that.
me, baby. Come on, B. You're Googling it slow as fuck.
It is.
But that on July 11th in New York, they will be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's still out here.
Mm-hmm.
He from Cincinnati.
Duh, you killed Ron
I
Isley,
asked the
bro.
question. Niggas be dying.
Nah, you
Now,
killed him.
You know if he was dead, that
Right.
would be something that would stick out in your mind.
Right.
Damn, that nigga been cooking
Yeah.
since 1954.
Hey,
Damn.
Word.
get it. I love
Dope,
it.
dope.
Keep
Damn.
singing to me.
His music been on all formats: vinyl, 8-track, MP3, streaming,
Morse code.
everything. Morris Code singing Telegram. Jesus.
All that
Shout out
shit.
to Ron Isley, man. Even though it's the Isley brothers and all y'all think about is Ron
Yeah.
because of R. Kelly.
Nah, man. That's not because you think
No.
you think
I
he was
think-
a
I
lead.
think-
No, he was a lead singer,
Yeah, he
man.
was a lead guy. Yeah.
But listen. I feel like we know
That was
Ron
just his brothers.
Isley,
Float on.
his name
Remember that
singletarily
shit with,
because
Lil' Kim
of R.
had?
Kelly.
Lil' Kim had Float On. Remember she remixed that? That shit was so
Mhm.
dope. Remember the video and shit?
Just another old version.
I don't know.
You
if
remember
was dope. I remember it.
That shit was
I don't
fire.
remember it being dope. I remember it being okay. I need to listen to it again before I give my final.
That shit was hard.
I actually didn't know Neptunes wrote like that.
Oh yeah.
I know they produced. I knew they produced songs and shit, but I didn't know they were that heavy in the writing of those songs.
Hooks
So
and
I
shit,
kinda
yeah.
learned
I
something.
mean, you think about all the hooks Pharrell did.
Yeah. But
Just-
do you get that just for hooks? I'm thinking you
Hell
got
yeah,
some
you
a body
right.
of work.
You gotta write. You know how many hooks he got? You gotta write that shit. That shit still like, if you got,
You got to write that shit.
yeah, you gotta write that shit or make it up one and then it's still your, fronting, all that shit he got, man.
I was just from.
That's a great song.
Nah, that's
Lauren
a-
London was
that's
so
an
fine in
awesome
there.
song. Lauren London has been fine since the beginning of eternity.
That's a fact.
She has always been fine. But y'all know I'm partial to dimples anyway, so that's just that. If y'all so this is our 100th episode.
So take your shirts off. Show your titties.
Take your shirt off. Show your mammaries.
I don't have titties.
Sir.
I wasn't
Shit,
talking to
seen you
y'all.
in
I was talking
tank,
to the
bro.
listeners. But I mean, if y'all
I'm talking to you.
feel free. Feel free. Don't let me hold
You
you.
feel
talking to you,
inclined
though.
to
Be uninhibited.
let him go.
Today's the day.
We all listen to podcasts with podcast hosts. What podcast would y'all put in the Hall of Fame?
I got a couple,
Ooh.
man. Me personally, I'll go first.
Give me your top two.
top
'cause you'll
two.
go
I'm
down
gonna
the
give
whole
you my
list of
top three.
everything you
I'm
ever
gonna give you my
listened to.
top three. I'll give you my top three.
Go ahead, B. I would expect you to do nothing less than
Right.
that. Go
I'll
ahead.
give you my top three. I'm a shout out to Combat Jack. He is the forefather.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. The Combat Jack show was what my introduction to podcasts, like pretty much from the beginning. And he was the first hip hop podcast for me. So that shit was dope. I enjoyed his interviews early on, and I think he, obviously spearheaded the movement. And then I gotta go with Joe Budden just because I listen to that more often than anything. For obvious reasons that I've said on the show multiple times. So that's it for me. And then third, I would say,
Sleuth.
yeah, it's a tie between the Sleuth and the Ancient Show.
Okay,
Well,
there
obviously.
you go.
That's what's
Good
up.
answer.
That's what's up. Jamie, what you giving it to? Besides the Sleuth podcast
Besides the Sleuth.
on all platforms, streaming now. Go check it out.
Let me see. I have
If
so
you
many
gotta
that I
look, you
listen
don't
to.
care. You ain't nothing rising to the top
Well,
of your heart.
No, because they're all over the place. So,
Okay.
So I love the true crime. So Sword and Scale is one of my
Sword and
favorites right now.
Scale.
That's awesome. Crime and killing and all that good stuff.
Good stuff. Know who you
yeah.
with, people.
My new favorite gym podcast is Horrible Decisions.
Oh wow,
Have y'all
I
heard that one?
cannot get into horrible decisions.
you like that, huh?
That shit is hilarious. Yes, it's all about
Sex,
foolishness
being whores.
and
I
sex
listen
and
to
being
several of them.
whores.
They're pretty.
But she don't twerk though.
Mm-hmm.
No,
She just listened
that for
to
home.
twerk related podcast. Gotcha.
Right. And because, I'm all about the Lord, the morning mindset is my good one. It's like a 5-minute podcast, like daily devotional type thing. I love that one. It kind of gets me started right.
Podcast like that with just like 5 minutes, but like set your day off, but not like spiritual. Like, I mean, not godly, but spiritual,
not religious,
like motivation.
Not religious.
Right words.
Well,
right words.
And it's nice because however he has this podcast set up, like it doesn't even matter. He's got, one for every day, and they're all like 5 minutes. So literally it just keeps playing over and over. So it's kind of like almost immediate listens and views because not views, but
that's
it
what
just
I was
keeps
thinking about.
It keeps going, but it's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's nice.
That's cool.
Only 5 minutes, doesn't take much of your time.
You making me feel like the universe talking to me right now because I've been thinking about that because it'll be quick hit too.
Yeah.
Very, very instant. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's dope. What you got?
I'm giving mine to The Read.
Yay.
Read is my favorite podcast. The Read has always been my favorite podcast. Although, and The Read, because The Read is like the first Black podcast that I listened to. I was actually put on the podcast a very long time ago. Like in like the onset of podcasts so iPhone's like 13 years old now. So podcasts should be around that age. But a coworker of mine, Naomi, don't say her last name, B, but you know Naomi. Naomi put me on to podcasts, and there was this podcast called Smodcast. And it was by the niggas who did Clerks. I don't know if y'all know that. It's like white guys.
Yeah. The Clerks was my shit. That was a good show.
They had like one of the first podcasts. So I used to listen to them. And then as far as Black podcasts, it was The Read, and they're celebrating like 7 years or something like that. That's like crazy.
That was my first podcast. I love The Read.
The Read is great. Great personalities. They
dope.
Come from nowhere. I always shout them out. So I feel like they're like the OG to me to Black podcasts.
I like 16.
They're on live shows.
They're on Combat Jack though.
Oh, you talking about?
They're on his network, Loudspeakers.
Loudspeakers network, yeah.
Yeah, they're on Loudspeakers.
Horrible Decision is too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the live shows, the podcast live shows?
Shit, I personally never been to one. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I've never been one. But shit, hell yeah, I think it's dope if you can get out there and touch the people, and they pay for it. Absolutely.
The Horrible Decisions is having one in Charlotte, like around my birthday. I was thinking about doing that for my birthday. That might be fun.
Go to that shit. I heard it should be live.
If you like their content, you'll like it because I went to The Read probably about 3-4 years ago, and I just looked in awe. Like motherfuckers is paying you to sit on a stage and just talk.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. What's better than that?
My homegirl went to the Joe Budden shit, and she said it was $200, and then that included $200 and $150 for the meet and greet. I said, what? She's like, yeah.
Whoa.
Shout out.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business, and it ain't nobody.
And
them
niggas was selling that shit out, like, you know what I mean? And shit, I think about the 85 South show. Them shits was $75. I mean, granted, it's a comedy show, it's a little different, but I mean, they started as a podcast. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, shout out to motherfuckers getting money, man. Anybody.
Shout out to all the Black podcasts. Shout out to all the individuals that's figuring out how to monetize this and get shows and get higher fame and get all of that. Shout out to everybody. We wouldn't be able to do these, 100 episodes without the forefathers of podcasts, all of these people that Jamie and B have mentioned. So, shout out to all the podcasters, and definitely shout out to the podcasters who just do it for the love. Yeah. I've been to some podcasting meet and greets and things like that, and just where you try to get education and podcasters meet up and things like that in Atlanta. And it is literally people who say, listen, I got 10 people that listen to me every week, and I do that shit every week just because they love it.
Right.
And my whole thing is like, the way I think of it, I was just like, at first I was like, damn, 10. But I was just like, if I had a meeting every week and those same 10 people showed up, I would still do the meeting.
For sure.
So it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to those people who, do it for the love. Like I just think that's dope. When did y'all start y'all podcast, Jimmy?
November 12th.
November 12th.
And we have like over 1,000 listens or whatever.
Shout
so
out
it is
to y'all,
doing
man.
excellent.
Shout out to y'all.
You know, had no idea what that was getting ready to do because, you know,
You just be talking.
nobody has a PI podcast. Right.
Yeah.
And the other PI podcast, I forget the name of it right now,
Fuck
but
them.
it's kind of
Right.
exactly. It's boring.
Yeah.
And it's
shit.
it's overly informative. And I just like the fact that, you know, we're just like regular people
Yeah.
and we can just kind of have normal conversations. So it kind of blends like that whole not being not having a theme podcast to, you know, being able to make it kind of, I just love it. We just do whatever we want to do.
That's the best
He's
podcast.
like, just come in,
man.
talk about what you want to talk about. You want to fucking drop the F-bomb all day, great. If not, great. You know, all is well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So
That's the good thing about podcasts. Like, ain't no FCC restrictions.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want and
Right.
apologize for it later.
well, you know, right. Well, so we put a legal disclaimer on ours because, you know, I hate for somebody to think that we were sitting up here telling them exactly what they should do and then they go out and do these things and then we get in trouble for it, right? So the attorney that works with us, I had him like scribe us a little, you know, blip that we can drop in anytime we're giving our personal opinion so that, you know, we're covered just in case, you know.
Yeah, I know.
We live in a
That's
crazy
good.
world. I ain't got time.
Yeah.
I hate
No
to shut down the
lawsuit.
business after
No
I just
lawsuit.
started it.
For sure.
God.
Right.
Y'all ready to get into some pop culture, man? Y'all ready to get into some little shit?
Let's do it.
Yay.
All right, little shit is our pop culture segment where we talk about all the fuck shit on your timelines. B, what you drinking?
I'm
Or
drinking
what you
water
got?
right now. I took a break while I was in the garage and got high. And I had some beers when I got off work. So as of right now, I'm just
Well, what time did you get off?
I got off at 4:30 and I went to the bar across the
Okay.
street with my boss. My new bosses, them niggas is dope
You drinking with your boss.
for sure.
We like them.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
you need
Good
to record
folks.
that conversation for blackmail later.
Oh, yeah, nah. Because one of them's black dude, so nah, I ain't gonna do him like that.
Thank
Shit, if
you.
he try to do you, you do him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I fight.
Hey,
We
it
fight.
never hurt to have insurance.
That's true. But I got
Don't
a
make me
partner.
have
North
I got a
Carolina,
PI.
we are a one-party state.
Oh,
So we are a one-party state, so you can record any conversation that you want to have as long as you are there.
wow.
That's good because
Didn't
I
know
just
that.
had the same conversation about Maryland at work. So that's right on time with the different laws in the different states. Jamie, what you
Right.
drinking?
A Black Russian.
Oh,
Tito's.
Black Russian.
Yes, it's a Tito's vodka because I
Mhm.
prefer Tito's
Okay.
and Kahlua. So it's hardcore for the.
I think
you know,
that's the
people
most
who like to drink.
sophisticated drink we done had on the show, man.
That's a fact.
What y'all got? What y'all drinking? Beer? I don't do beer.
I'm drinking. So it's 100 episode. I've had a bottle of the Good Jack, the single barrel
I got some corn
expensive
liquor in
shit.
the car too. I forgot all about that.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
I got the single barrel Jack, the expensive stuff. So I bust that out for the 100th episode.
Nice.
But I also have a Ace pineapple cider to chase it with because I don't want to get too fucked up right now. So that's what we on. So put your cups up.
Mm.
Clink, 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 clink.
Hey,
Cheers.
and we're toasting to just the 100th episode. Everything is to us doing this 100 times. Thank y'all for letting us into y'all cars and living rooms and workspaces and gyms over 100 times. So we appreciate that. First little shit. We gonna talk about a guy I really, really like, but he just always in trouble. DaBaby is in trouble yet again. It seems like almost every week DaBaby is getting into an altercation with another person. A couple weeks ago, DaBaby was arrested for robbing a Miami club promoter and also had an outstanding warrant in Texas for a brawl in the airport. Bring us to most recently. Footage came out with DaBaby having an altercation with a Beverly Hills hotel employee. In the video, DaBaby is seen walking into the hotel with two other men behind the employee. He shoves the employee into the seat. DaBaby then stands over the employee and points his finger in the employee's face. I guess he was giving him a piece of his mind. And then he left. He claimed that the employee came up and asked him for a picture. while he was holding his 2-year-old daughter, DaBaby told the employee that taking a video of him or a picture would compromise his daughter's safety. And he doesn't want social media to know where they are. Despite telling the dude no, the employee walked over to the other side of the parking lot and recorded DaBaby and his daughter on Snapchat anyway. DaBaby said, I told him to delete the video immediately, to take his bitch ass back into the hotel and do his job, since he wasn't capable of being professional, abiding by the hotel policy. Now, you know, DaBaby is handling his own things. DaBaby, you know, following trouble? Is trouble following DaBaby?
I mean, he's just bad. He was just a badass child. You could probably tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I fuck with it because I know a bunch of my friends were badass kids. So, and I wasn't the greatest one.
He got silver teeth.
Yeah,
the kids with the silver teeth. That's why his teeth like that.
Yeah,
with the gold on it.
Yeah, he definitely has some silver caps for sure. But yeah, I mean, I feel him though. Like, see, that celebrity shit is for the birds. Like, put your fucking phone down. Like, when I walk around, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my little girl with me. Like, it's no on and off, which I get. Like, you know, you may never see your favorite rapper just walking down the street ever again, right? So, but at the same time, they still people. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand like the limits and shit. And if a motherfucker with their kid and they trying to be like, they just, you know, off and don't necessarily want to do whatever, like they'll take a picture with you later or catch you later. You gotta respect it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But like I said, that shit, that celebrity shit.
That's how you feel?
Yeah. Hell yeah. That shit is too much for
Danny?
me. I
What's your
can't do it.
Well, you know, if you're outside and you're a celebrity, like, you know, somebody's going to see you. I mean, I get that he doesn't want the child up there, but then cover the child up. I mean, what Michael Jackson like had the blanket over the baby if he didn't want anybody to see the baby.
Blanket your daughter though.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't feel like you should like throw the man in the chair the way that
if he asks you to stop,
you know,
if I ask you to stop and you continue to do it, then you're just being disrespectful. So disrespect can't be tolerated at any point.
Yeah, but like it's America.
Yeah, but if I told you,
America,
but if I don't want you to goddamn film me and shit, like, go on, bro. Like, I said no. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, chill out. Like, leave me the fuck alone. You gotta respect that. And then if you just blatantly like recording the shit,
well, have your people cover you.
I mean,
have your people cover you.
Yeah, you could do that too, but at the same time,
entourage,
if I told you
they
not
could
to
just
do it,
like
don't
block
do it.
y'all as you go into the. I mean, I know. I hear you.
I hear you.
I mean, it's a celebrity, so that's what you signed up for.
I hear you. I don't give a fuck, but I hear you. I think I'm landing probably in the middle of both of you because I see both sides of it, right? I get it. Like, you know, I'm a big proponent of disrespect. Like, don't disrespect. However, I'm also not a millionaire with a lot to lose, and that's always my message here. Like, you know, at a certain point in time, you got to realize that you're now a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not Kirk, whatever, Jonathan Kirk anymore. You're DaBaby. So, you know, now everybody want a piece of you and you get all of these dollars and that's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? You get all of this money because of what comes with the fame and what happens with that. I just feel like it probably could have been handled like a little bit differently. Like you could have went and to the management of the hotel, like, look, your employee doing this. I don't know how many followers this one employee has. You know what I'm saying? Where all of these people about to rush. I bet you he got hotel.
Much more publicity off of shoving the man in the corner than the man would have got of posting him and his kid. Probably nobody even knows who the baby is on his page. He just works there.
What was this little nigga? This little short nigga. Yeah, that's funny.
Right.
Yeah,
who's that guy?
Man. I just feel like Baby's gonna have to get to a point where he either let his people handle it, like Jamie said, or, you know, get to a point where he can ignore things or, you know, adjust.
Yeah, because
accordingly.
Because what's taking money out of the baby's pocket is him being a fool and being locked up.
Yeah, or having to battle lawsuits.
Right. So that's gonna take you out of the studio.
It's not about once you become this entity, once you become a business, DaBaby, the business, it's not just about you. Now you got all these other people on payroll.
Right.
So if you fuck up, you go to jail, whatever. Now your bodyguard family can't eat or your publicist can't eat or, you know, it's just like this trickle down effect. And I get it. DaBaby, like a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those people that's used to street life. Look, he didn't kill somebody already.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did he?
Yeah, he shot a guy in Walmart, like 2018.
They tried to rob him and shit before he like took off. You know the conspiracy theory. Yeah, he said, you know the conspiracy theory. So that's how the sacrifice. That's how he became popping. Motherfuckers is crazy.
Because it was right after that though, because the timing be crazy.
Yeah,
that's how it was with Meg. They like, oh, you killed your mother.
Yeah,
so
motherfuckers is crazy, man.
They high.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They high. Yeah, for sure. It's crazy out here. I think, you know, I think that DaBaby, you know, is just going to.
He sat that nigga down though. This shit was funny as shit.
Hard as shit though.
I know he like smashing
it.
It
like then, bro, crossed his legs and shit, crossed his arms. This shit was hilarious. Like he ain't assault him. He just pushed him in the chair. Like sit your ass down.
Listen, anytime you put your hands on somebody,
that is assault. Yeah, for sure.
That is 100% assault. Because if this nigga, like, if this was some 6'7" black dude, I don't think Baby would have just been pushing that nigga like that.
I don't know.
Without his people doing something
he's a little man.
Absolutely not.
He a little fella.
He could have been black. He probably would have pushed him like that.
He got a Napoleon complex from hell. You can tell that. Like he's just a little nigga that just think he can beat everybody, like the little terrier in the yard. You know what I mean?
Oh shit!
For
Baby
real.
the terrier, bruh.
A pit bull terrier, but terrier.
Pip. Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Like it seemed like Baby has been, you know, although it seems like every week we're seeing Baby get arrested for something, whether they fucking with him or maybe a legit reason.
Now.
You think y'all think his luck gonna run out?
You gonna keep getting put in compromising positions. I mean,
he push Baby in a corner.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't put Baby in a corner.
What's that from? I missed it.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Shit. Yeah, hell yeah. That's right. That's a good movie.
Come on, Frank. Come on.
That shit was filmed in North Carolina
too. You know that.
Hey,
we know all that history.
Yeah.
I like that. I like when B rattle off to like some random history.
Oh yeah,
like
you know.
Like.
Goddamn. Yeah. I had no follow up to my curse word, but all right. Let's do it.
All right. Let's play record label right now. DaBaby is your artist. What are you about to put into what are you about to put into play so that these incidents don't happen again?
I don't know. He got that big ass light skinned dude. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
All he used him for as a motherfucking the high chair.
Oh nah, that's not true. That nigga be beating
neck with
motherfuckers
his
up like
nuts
hell.
on his neck.
King or whatever his name is.
Kong, I think. Kane Kong. King. I don't know. I think his name Kong or something like that. But every time I see that nigga, like I said, Baby got his nuts on his neck in a crowd. Like
that's true. I don't know. They gonna have to do something, but
they got whiplash. What would you do, Jamie, if you the record company? What are you doing to make sure that your artist is in a position to produce?
I don't. I'm probably not the best one to ask this question because I'd probably just get rid of them. I ain't got time.
Damn.
Yeah,
you see a cash cow, you gonna
that's the number one artist in the world. You gonna get rid of him?
If you're too much of a headache, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't enjoy stuff like that. You know, I mean, I get it, but if you can't keep yourself together,
she talks to criminals
you can't
every
control
day, so.
yourself. Yeah, you know, so it is what it is. Either you're gonna like. Well, I mean,
I get it, because
you make your bed and you lay in it, and so
true.
like I'm just like, well, what am I supposed to do at this point? It's not, but so much, and then I got to pay you to go and do all these things and be in these places, and you can't keep your shit together. Yeah, I don't know if I care enough to. I mean, I get it, but I'm not chasing the dollar that hard that I'm willing to go through all that.
I feel you. I'm always in a place of like, I always come from it like this. These are the things you worked your whole life for, or you've dreamt of.
Right.
You dreamt of doing this and doing this job. And it's us that have like regular fucking jobs. And we wouldn't do this shit and try to lose our
Never.
Job. You know what I'm saying?
Can't even cuss in the wrong place.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So it's
and you smashing people in the chairs. It's not okay.
Yeah. So at a certain point, I think I would be like, look, I would lay it down, like give you a little bit more security and be like, look, you got to learn how to control yourself. Like, because this ain't gonna stop. This ain't gonna be the first or last time that somebody's going to take a picture of you and you don't want them to. Somebody going to be in your space. You don't want them to. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might show up in your room. You don't want them to. So let's minimize the lawsuits because you don't have to do much to be sued these days.
That's a fact.
No.
He could have just intimidated the dude. He wouldn't even have to put his hands on the dude. And if they could prove like it was some type of... Yeah.
Little men aren't that intimidating.
Oh, shit. Well,
so
sorry to our short listeners.
Wouldn't have been able to. Yeah. Well, you got to be confident in you.
You got to be confident in you. Exactly. So the baby being in trouble yet again is that little shit.
Shit.
Baby, we rooting for you, baby. We really are. We want you to be great, but you can't just be handling things how you want to. Moving along. So, Meghan and Harry always put Meghan's name first. Black Queen. So as y'all know, Meghan's not happy being a royal. Too much scrutiny, too many rules, and a whole lot of racism.
Yep.
As you can hear in...
Did she expect anything differently?
As you can hear
I'm
in
so
Jamie's
irritated
grunt.
with this.
Yeah, we can hear your grunt.
Right.
As you know, Meghan and Harry has decided to step back and lose all their royal titles and make all their own money and move to Canada.
No longer Duchess and Duchesses.
Exactly. They proposed to the Queen to have like a hybrid role. But the Queen said, nah, you in or you out.
Right.
What you trying to do? What's up, period? That's what she said. And Harry chose to dip and take his family and all the money
he chose that pussy.
and amenities associated with being royalty with him. Harry stated that he must protect his family because he knows how this can end if it's not handled correctly. And for all of y'all who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but Harry's mom, Princess Diana, was killed while being chased by the paparazzi. And foreshadowing, he doesn't want anything like that to happen with his family and for him to, witness those types of things again. Jamie, is Harry husband of the year or just regular degular? This what he should have did.
Oh, is he husband of the year? Probably, yeah. Yeah. Right? Since he's sticking up for the family.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, ugh.
What are your thoughts?
I feel like, we went through this whole drama to accept the Black princess into, the Europe world. and then you get over here and you have this baby and now you don't want to do it. It's kind of like, what was the point?
Well, I mean, he was already a prince though, so he should have renounced his throne before getting married.
Exactly. Like, you knew this wasn't going to be
but maybe so he thought she could handle it.
Right.
But she probably, but where did she come from?
She's an actress.
Yeah. Exactly. Which means that, it's you really thought this lady was about to sit down, settle down, live this Duchess life and not ever want anything to do with Hollywood or her career it just felt like it was a joke. Like, she should have either you buckle down and be the Duchess of Sussex, right? Or we're not going to do this at all and we can split all that later. Now you done tore across this whole man's family. Now things have
that's
not...
a hot take.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's
a hot take. Yeah, me either. Go ahead. I like it. Go ahead.
Go for it.
We like unpopular
I feel like,
opinion.
it's that whole win in Rome thing, right? So you knew what you were signing up for. And
did she though?
Right.
Yes.
I don't know.
To the extent.
What you mean you don't know? Those people live by the Queen and how the Queen operates.
Maybe
right?
she didn't know the Queen operates.
Yeah, she ain't know until she got into the house. Like, you don't know how the Queen operates.
She knew. Have you seen anybody else just decide they don't want no parts of this anymore?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never really. Yeah, Princess Diana.
Yeah, Princess Diana.
That's how she got killed.
Mm-hmm.
They had a divorce.
Yeah, but that didn't end well.
Listen, how many jobs you just? I ain't gonna even say jobs. How many relationships have you signed up for where you thought you can do it and you couldn't?
None.
You ain't signed up for I
thought it was going to be something different and it wasn't.
So you
and then I was upset about it.
Was going to end.
Nah.
Well, I'm not with anybody.
That's
so
the point.
I mean, you've been with people unless you're a virgin and never been in a relationship. And you got a kid, so I know half of that got to be wrong.
I do. Well, that was a whole nother situation, but I didn't do it again, right? So I learned my lesson the first time.
This is the first time being princess.
Yeah.
Right, but you're in a whole nother country. These people did not accept her to begin with.
That's true.
They didn't accept her. And so not only were you black, you were mixed, you were, from a family that wasn't, quote unquote, a good family, your like family was torn apart. Yeah. Then you come from, you're a celebrity. I mean, I just feel like, what did y'all expect?
I mean, that's probably my point. Like, and that's why I'm like, well, shit, he had to do what he had to do for his family. Like, they probably got in and realized, like, all right, yeah, this isn't everything that we thought it was, or it is actually what we thought it was.
I don't think they would have let him marry her unless they decided to go.
I don't think it was a let though.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a let because Harry always been that wild card.
Yeah, he been
Harry
a rogue.
always been the cool one. He the one in Vegas doing coke, jumping in pools and shit. Like,
right, and Harry they were going to support him in what he did, and they thought that he was going to still continue to stay true to his British family. And this lady then turned him out, and he don't want no part.
Like.
Yeah.
Right, and he's ready. He said, "You know what? Fuck it. I don't want this to be like my mom, and I'm ready to go."
Like,
I mean, and and he got a lady on his arm who can take care of them. And now you don't want no money from the British family, and you don't want, you just willing. I'm just interested to see as to what's gonna happen.
Hey, listen, no matter what
I don't
money
think it's
gonna be that British money.
Yeah.
Right.
It ain't gonna be that. But I just kind of feel like,
he's a stay-at-home dad now, so that Meghan can go out and make all the money.
They get a book deal, they get all type of them. Money is the furthest thing that they should be worried about at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to have his title, and he's not going to have, and to me, when you come from that, regardless, in my opinion, it's going to end up being an issue.
We'll see.
It's going to end up being an issue.
I'm not down with people telling me what I should do. Like, he didn't choose to be born into this family.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It has afforded him a bunch of comforts and things like that. But at the end of the day, like, I should be able to do whatever I want to do.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, baby. He living in Canada.
Yeah, he living in Canada. Like, that's like the safest place you can live.
Yeah, for sure.
And fucking Canada. Like, I think she went in like most women do, thinking, okay, I know it's probably strict, blah, 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 but I love you. And I feel like I can work through that. And then when she got into it, I honestly feel like Meghan probably didn't realize how black she was until she got in that role.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She can pass. And I watched Suits. I used to watch that show she was on.
Oh, I never
watched it.
Yeah, she was on Suits. She was the love interest in Suits.
Oh, word.
So, like, she played more of a white character than a black character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't know who she was till she popped up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
But as soon as I saw her, I knew she was black.
Off the rip, yeah.
And then she came in there with a black mama. And then the white daddy don't want nothing to do with her.
All you need is one drop.
All you need is one drop.
I mean, I'm just interested to see how it's going to turn out.
I think it's going to turn out fine for them. I don't feel like it's going to be too much of. I personally feel like it's going to be a cascade of other people saying, I don't want to do this shit either. That's in the royal family.
Of what other people? Ain't no
like
other
their
people.
kids, like the kids growing up. Like what's the other? What's his brother
little
name?
Charlotte. Little Charlotte and
I don't know none of them names. I know Prince Harry and what's the other one? The one that looked like the daddy and shit.
Right, he looked old as shit.
Yeah. That nigga look.
But he wouldn't dare.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere.
You talking about Prince Charles? Prince Charles.
Prince Charles.
No, Will. Is it Will?
William.
Will and Kate. Yes.
Their names even unseasoned and bland as fuck. Like Will and Kate.
Yeah. That shit ain't got no fun.
And that nigga been bald since like 19.
Have you been out there? Have you been to Europe
I've never been.
Nah, you been there?
That whole shit is boring. Yes. And everybody's, I mean, it's a beautiful thing and that's how they do. And it's just how they do it. And like, if you don't want to be, in line with how we do things, then go on. That's why the queen didn't say, oh, you can have a little bit of this and a little bit. I mean, she's letting him do that because that's her grandchild. And she probably feels bad because of, Princess Diana and blah, blah, blah.
Don't give a fuck.
And it's a whole make your bed lay in it situation. So I'm just interested to see what's going to happen. I hope they do well. I do.
I think they'll be fine.
Would you leave all that money, Jamie? Would you leave all that money and privilege?
If I wanted to leave the money or thought of leave, I would have never married her.
Okay.
If you want to go for it and, make it on your own, then go for love. I'm all for love.
Would you leave for love? Would you leave?
Yes, I would leave for love. Yes. But be prepared to be broke for a little bit. Or, not as comfortable.
They get book deals,
not
all type of shit, man.
But no romance without finance. They ain't gonna be us.
Hell no.
And I don't even know how much money we make, but I know I don't feel like it's no multimillionaires on this line right now.
But shit, I ain't no Prince. I ain't no formerly known as Prince either. So hell no. Motherfuckers ain't gonna be niggas gonna be knocking that bruh door like, yo, like, let's get a book deal, let's get a TV show, let's get something.
I just wonder after a while what he's gonna be like. I feel like he's going to be the one that is going to have the most...
A hard time?
Yes, issues after a while. Because I don't really care as long as...
He is a white man. He's going to have no issues. He's going to be fine. Before she's fine, he's going to be fine.
That's a fact.
They will create a problem. Is it the reason why they can't get it together? I don't know. We'll see.
Would you leave the money, B?
Probably not. We have to figure something out. I mean, I don't know though. If I'm him, like if I'm him, that you're gonna be able to get money regardless. So like, I mean, granted, you're gonna have endless, the fucking.
You won't have the royal penis.
Well, what all do we?
Your Highness, but
what do we want to hear from Harry? What is it that he could tell us?
Shit, something.
Harry's fine with me. Harry dope to me. The fact that he was willing to leave all that. Harry, listen. The fact that he's Harry. He can do anything.
Yeah.
He can do voiceover work just like her. He can just sit and he can have an Instagram and get paid off of that.
That's a fact.
Harry can literally do whatever he want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there are going to be subscribers to that.
That's a fact.
He can do that fucking shit where you just eat online.
Oh,
Niggas
yeah.
gonna watch that.
Yeah, he could.
Like, people get paid out here that's not him. So a nigga like him is definitely going to get paid.
That's a fact.
Regardless. He could just sit in silence on YouTube and niggas gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Not me.
I want a 6-month update.
10 billion. 10 billion streams.
Let's do can we do a 6-month update?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Show right. 1, 2, 2, 10.
All right. Bet. We gonna figure that out. So Meghan and Harry leaving it all behind is lit or shit.
It's lit for me. Fuck it.
I think it's lit. I think it's pretty noble to leave all that behind. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I would be able to sign up for that program because it's very regimented and restrictive and you can't do this and can't do that. And I feel suffocated. I wouldn't have signed up in the first place. Right. However, I understand her being like, oh, I can do this because I always wanted to be a princess, and then getting in there and be like, oh, so I'm not a princess. I'm this black ass bitch.
And then realize that you'll never be the queen too. Like he's super down the line.
Will never be the queen.
Never be the queen.
Yeah, never be the queen.
Like he 7 chairs removed, so it'd be mad motherfuckers that would have to die before he would even get it. You know what I mean?
7 chairs?
I think so, something like that. He's like way down the line.
Where's his brother?
His brother is
isn't he next after
second
Charles?
Or third?
Yeah, but it's something. I think there's a doctor. I think Prince Charles got a sister or some shit, so it would go to like, and she got a son or some shit like that. They said it on the news. Like he's not in line by. It would take a.
So he's so far down the line.
Yeah, it would take a lot for him to become.
I feel like the whole
king.
Monarchy is antiquated anyway. Like I feel like that whole regime, like I don't know, it just seems so.
Yeah, I mean they just sit there like it's the parliament is
it's British.
Yeah, the parliament runs the whole thing. They still get taxed though. I mean they still receive like the taxation and shit, like all the benefits. Like it's tithes basically. Like they get tithes from everything, like the taxes in the UK and shit. They just get money.
That's what I'm saying. If you ever go to London, Britain, where are they at? Britain.
UK.
Britain.
Let's say UK.
UK. Thanks. it is all about the royal family. And I mean, it's the guards still switch at certain times and everybody's posted up. I mean, it's just very, this is how we're going to do it. Like, there's not going to be any changes. You know, it has to be like a major, I don't even know what would have to happen for them to not operate the way that they operate. So I'm just kind of like, I'm irritated with Meghan a little bit, but it's
so
okay.
You didn't want her to do it. You feel like it's a bad thing.
Well, it's not. Well, I thought it was cute. I thought it was nice.
It was cute. Okay.
Yeah, it was a cute thing, but I just kind of felt like it was unrealistic, and I felt like, you know, it might fall apart, which it did. So, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen after this. Did it fall
apart?
It
or
did
they put it together how they wanted to put it together?
That's just not what we signed up for. I don't know. I'm a traditional girl, so I like, you know, sticking with the plan. So
just because that's been the plan.
Sometimes I like it just because.
Yeah, I'm not traditional then, because I feel like I'm an individual and I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do. Like, all of that, y'all made them plans before me. Yeah. Like, right. Well, that's why we're letting you go, boo. You going out there to Canada, you do your thing, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. So, I don't know. I just hope, I hope everything works out for them. Where we're going to go lit or shit. Can I call it both? Pick one. I think you think it's shit,
I
really.
Go lit. No. Because
I fucked it up. And you blaming that black woman for signing up. I am
not blaming the black woman. He knew exactly what he was getting into too. So he was over here trying to go against the grain.
He just didn't know what he was getting into was going to make him change his mind about his whole life.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I feel like he did.
Tell him, B, sunshine.
I feel like he knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, I guess it's lit. Sunshine. I'm going lit for love. How about that?
Lit for love. Lit for love.
Made for love. Good song.
All right. So footage has surfaced last week that shows Tighe and Tiny's 15-year-old son, King Harris, getting into a physical altercation at school. King is seen throwing punches and dodging violent advances from one of his classmates. And it all started because of a Kodak black hoodie. The classmate was wearing a Sniper Gang hoodie. Sniper Gang allegedly is associated with a brand that's associated with Kodak Black and his crew. Kodak, as y'all know, Kodak Black and Tighe have traded several words several times. And I guess, you know, King feels like he needs to defend his family. Last year, Kodak and Tighe was feuding because he called Tighe and Tiny Sons faggots. And in a diss track called Tiny a Piggy. And so it's been going, it kind of came from the whole Nipsey Lauren London thing. That's where like the root of that was. But according to Zonique, the oldest daughter of Tiny, King told the kid to take his shirt off because it was disrespectful. After the kid didn't take his shirt off, King was ready for the fade. Later on social media, the kid said that he would have taken his hoodie off if King would have came at him properly, but King tried to check him. So he wasn't taking his shit off. B, was this fade justified or is King being a bully?
Yeah, it was justified. I mean, in regards to the other dude, yeah. I mean, shit. You can't expect just cause you King and to say some shit and think motherfucker that shit law, like you gonna have to kind of earn your stripes and shit. So yeah, I mean, but I appreciated the shit. The little niggas was fighting. You know what I mean? Like it was.
I appreciate the little niggas fighting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta make your lumps and have a couple fights here and there. You know what I'm saying? And King won't scared. Like he brought out. I mean, he got his ass whooped, but at the same time, like he was still fighting and shit. So
he said he didn't get his ass whooped.
He caught a couple.
He ain't catching on.
I mean, it was just a clip. So the clip that I saw, he caught a couple, but he was in there. He was standing in there strong, though. He won't soft. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I appreciate it.
I don't know why he think he could just tell somebody what they can wear and what they can't wear.
That's that Tighe. That's that Tighe syndrome.
Right. That's true. We going with another little man.
Mm-hmm.
This the little man episode.
Yeah.
How you feel about that fight, Jamie?
Did you see it?
Did you see
Yeah,
it?
I watched it. I looked it up, pulled it up.
Look at you.
Yeah, I was trying to, look. How do I feel about it?
And you have a child, right? You have an older child.
That's in high school.
I would bust his ass. We would not be having none of that, especially over no damn t-shirt.
Yeah.
Please fight over something that matters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if the t-shirt said fuck Sleuth podcast?
Well, fuck you too, and move on. I don't want him in trouble because of somebody's. We live in Trump's America.
That's true.
So you're like, at some point, you just have to be confident with what you're doing and move on. I don't know. I thought it was stupid. He was like a little kid in the bathroom fighting. Like, I guess that's what they do, fight in the bathroom so you don't fight outside and get in trouble.
Even though you record it so you go viral and everybody can see it.
Exactly. Right. So, I don't know if it wasn't a smart move at all. I don't believe in leaving things for other people to get you in trouble on. So, it's stupid. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah. Look, she already skipped to the end. Shit. Well, I think that is shit. No, I agree with you. I think we all pretty much on the same page as far as, listen, you can't be telling people what to wear. You don't rule nobody, no matter who your daddy or your mama.
Nobody cares.
Is. Do y'all remember getting into any fights in middle school or high school?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first one coming to mind?
I never got in. Did I get in high school? Not in school. A bunch out of school. Because all my friends used to get in a bunch of shit. Middle school, I got my first fight when I was in 3rd grade at fucking the skate ranch and shit.
Fight.
Yeah, no, was I?
Skate ranch, shout out to the skate ranch.
Yeah, I got in my first fight when I was it was 4th grade. White dude named Mark. Motherfucker tried to play me. But I stole his ass and shit.
You can't be letting that happen.
Yeah, couldn't do that.
Did you win? Did you win?
Yeah, but hell yeah, I won. Like, it was just like I punched him in the face and he was on skates, so like, and I wasn't. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he fell because he was skating and I was on the ground and shit, and I had took my skates off because he tried to like do some stupid shit while we was skating and shit. And I think he made me fall. And then when he rolled around, I just stole his ass because he was on the little.
How dare he?
Wait, and this was in 3rd grade?
4th.
That's
4th grade, you strategized.
Yeah, I mean, I
appreciate
took my
that.
shit off. Yeah, like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He made me fall and shit, and I remember it was live in there. Like, if you from Raleigh, like 7 to 11 used to be like midnight skate and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that shit used to be lit. So like that was my first party and shit. Nah. And like, I was with one of my homeboys, he was older than me and shit. He was like, man, you better not let that motherfucker. So he gassed me up, you know what I'm saying? And he rolled around the little thing. I stole his ass. Wow. He fell and shit. It was over. Come on, man. That was my first.
It was over?
Yeah, it was my first official fight.
Hey, was you hyped? What was your mood after?
I was pumped. Like, I went and got some suicide sodas
you
and shit.
You was ready to fight somebody else.
Yeah, cause my homegirl, Katrina, she used to work there. So like, I ain't get kicked out of no shit like that because she used to always fuck with me and shit. And I went and got some suicide soda, like where you put all the sodas in the cup and shit, you know what I'm saying? And just drink that shit.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Celebrate my shit.
I've never heard of suicide soda.
We put all the sodas in one cup. You ain't never did that?
I don't think so, but I know kids do that.
Yeah,
I've never heard it called suicide soda.
I don't know why.
Damn it, man. Yeah. Jeremy, you been in any fights? A school age fight?
Never been in fight. Absolutely not.
She ain't about that actually.
You were in no school age fight?
I am a lover, not a fighter. I slapped a girl in 7th grade, and that was about as far as
Why
it
you
went.
slap her? Why you slap her?
She's irritating me.
What?
So
she used to have her own business, and you slapped the fuck out of her little kid.
Right. Which is why I don't fight, because I'm like afraid that I'll like fucking kill somebody if I actually had to fight, because, you know, I'm kind of scary like that. And so, you know, I feel like I might just have to like take you all the way out if you ever like even crossed over the line. So yeah, I think we were playing some little game, and I just remember her, I will not say her name just in case. But she had braces, and she had all those rubber bands flying throughout her teeth. And in my mind, all I can see is her mouth just going like, and I just like slapped the shit out of her, and I got in trouble. I got suspended. I actually went to a Catholic school, so that was like a big no-no. And from then I was like, you know what? It's probably best, Jamie, for you to keep your hands to yourself because you're going to cause some damage. And so, you know,
so you
I never had to fight.
Early on.
Yeah. Right. I have a pretty serious resting bitch face. So people usually don't bother me.
Well, I remember, like, I didn't get into a lot of fights. I didn't get into fights like in school. Most of the time it was like fighting like my brother or my cousins. And we got into a few like family fights against other people who was trying to mess with my siblings or something like that. But like in school, I remember, there were these twins, right? It was a boy and a girl. We were like in maybe 8th grade or 9th grade. I went to a junior high school, so I went to 9th grade. And there were twins. It was a boy and a girl, but they were big as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like they were like 6 feet in middle school. Yeah. And they were big, light-skinned, strong joints. The boy and the girl looked just alike. And I just heard around the school that the girl name was Erica. I remember it to this day that she wanted to fight me. So I was just like, damn, I don't even know her like that. Like, why she want to fight me? But I know I couldn't be no punk, right? Right. So I was like, fuck, like she big as shit. Like in real talk, she probably could have beat the shit out of me. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to have to tackle this situation. I'm going to have to get to her before she get to me. So I'm like, where she at? Fuck it, where she at? Like, let's go find her. So then I got like half the school behind me going to look for Erica. So we go look for Erica. Erica coming down the steps. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. Cause I was high key scared for real, but I couldn't show that shit. Yeah. Right. So going through the roof. I got like half the school. I had half the school behind me. We going to look for Erica because they want to see a fight and shit. So I see her coming down the steps. So I got to approach her before she approached me. I think it was kind of that mentality. You go into prison, you just knock out the biggest nigga you see to set your ground. So I said, she coming down the steps and I say, hey, I heard you was looking for me. You wanted to fight? And she like looked stunned, like, what the fuck? And then she see all these people behind me. So it's like this whole image. Like, no, she don't know what's going on and shit. So she like, nah, like, I don't even know you like that. Like, why would I want to fight you? So on the inside, I'm like, whoo. Like, hell so yeah. on the outside, I'm like, all right, then cool. And then I just walk away. Like, and everybody just walk away with me. I'm like, oh, she pumped her ass.
That wasn't a fight.
But honestly, exactly. Like, it was, in high school, it was way more girl fights than it was dude fights. Girls is just catty, so you know how that shit is. But like, I done seen mad girl, like, I done seen some like, amazing girl fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in school, titties out, all type of shit. Shit was excellent.
No, Absolutely not. You've been a creep since day one, bro.
I mean, it's a titty. What do you mean? That's the best part of girl fights. It's always going to be a titty. Like, it's going to be one. Out of 4 titties, one going to show.
Out of 4 titties, one going to show. But that's a t-shirt. Out of 4 titties, one going to show. Listen, sure. I think that set a tone for me. And I'm just like, listen, it's not about what can happen. It's about what people think can happen. Yep. So
took the pit away.
Like, you couldn't tell me shit after that. I was like, shit, fuck it. Like, I would beat that bitch ass anyway. Bruh, and she's still big. And her brother is like locked up for murder. Word. Like they were like goons. Like,
probably one of my clients. One of my clients.
Like her brother is
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
Did y'all listen?
Hey y'all.
Y'all niggas that was doing something else. B, like reading law books instead of listening to this shit.
Oh man. Hey, King Harris getting into this fight over somebody wearing a shirt that they're allowed to wear is little shit.
It's good. Shit. I like it.
Shit.
Bill's character.
You should lit.
You want to pop shit, you want to get somebody punching in your mouth.
I like it only because he's a celebrity kid and he probably need that. He need them bruises. Yeah. To humble himself a little bit.
You know, he was bruised all the way up light skin.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was probably poor baby.
Right. For you to think you can just walk up on somebody and tell somebody what to do. Like, that was probably eye-opening. So I'm going to go with lit. But in reality, kids, don't be fighting. Yeah. Like,
please
use your words.
Fucking expel your ass from school and then you can't go back. Now
exactly. What? This looked like a public school. Was it a public school?
I don't know. It looked like it though.
It looked very public.
I mean, he probably
they certainly didn't have any uniforms on or anything. They probably go to public school
probably ones
or charter
regular school and shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep them somewhere grounded for incidents like that. You know what I mean?
Which is why he's in the damn bathroom fighting.
Facts. All right. Well, that was good. Y'all ready to give somebody some advice?
Listeners. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some Ain't Shit in 2 Cents. Ain't Shit in 2 Cents is our listener letter segment where we give advice to listeners who clearly don't care about taking advice from people who drink Black Russians, smoke weed, and drink fine-ass single-barrel Jack Daniels. All right. All right, so we got Dr. The Well. So we got Dr. Bill.
H is silent on you hoes.
Dr. Jamie and Dr. Fresh this time. So here's the letter. This is an interesting one. I'm interested to see y'all advice. It said, I
can't wait.
It said, okay, y'all, this is juicy. Well, it is to me. I need some help. My husband and I have been married for 7 years and have a pretty good marriage. Everything was all good until about 6 months ago. I was put on a project at work with this new guy named Brian from another department. Brian is 6'2", chocolate, and has the whitest smile I've ever seen.
Ew.
I was taken aback for show when I saw him, but I was not tripping. I'm a happily married woman, right? And she put a question mark. So it's all good. As Brian and I started working on this project, something bad happened. I found out not only is he fine, but he funny as hell and he's super smart. Lord help me.
Niggas
don't be funny. Don't be funny.
Niggas a Marvel comic superhero.
Listen. Right. If you can make them laugh, you can make them moan. That's what I feel like. As we work long hours on this project, I found our conversations becoming more friendly and flirtatious. As the deadline rolled around, we started texting more to the point where we were no longer texting about work-related things or related to the project. We would talk about people, how our days are. We would talk about movies, shows, etc. Nothing X-rated, all innocent, right? Well, I thought it was until I was out with my homegirls. The natural guy move. So it says, well, I thought it was innocent until I was out with my homegirls one night getting faded off Patron. Came home and attacked my husband like a horny college girl. And halfway through getting it in, I realized I was imagining Brian.
Uh-oh.
I was thinking about it all the next day when my manager comes into the office to talk about a new project upcoming, and she wants me to work with none other than Brian again. What the fuck is she trying to ruin my marriage? I don't know what to do. How do I shake this attraction that I have to this man? I've never been shook like this. I would never want to hurt my husband or disrespect my marriage. Have y'all ever been attracted to a coworker? How did y'all get around it? Am I a bad wife? Should I tell my manager that I can't be on this project? That's a lot of questions. We're going to have to charge you a copay for all this.
I ain't lying.
It says, P.S. The show is so dope. Y'all are a great duo.
Appreciate you.
Trio. And this is from Kelsey.
Yay. All right, Kelsey.
All right. You go first, Jamie. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this.
What's the first question?
The first question is, have you ever been attracted to a coworker?
Yes.
What did you do about it?
Well, I'm not married, so I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that.
Are you shitting where you eat?
No, I don't. That's not a good idea.
So tell us about it.
What? Tell us about that certain situation.
If you want to,
like, nah,
you want to tell her how you worked around it.
Yeah, just give her.
We're looking for some advice here.
It's it's one of those things where you just have to enjoy the eye candy at the office and just keep it moving. I mean, because hopefully your marriage, if not your relationship with whomever, is more important than eye candy. It is lovely for somebody to make you laugh and giggle and all of those fantabulous, wonderful things, but usually that person is probably an asshole outside of work. So I don't know if it's worth the risk. Because you're secure in what you have. So.
So when you were attracted to a coworker, you didn't go forward with it at all?
Absolutely not. Nope.
How did you get around it? You just looked, you didn't. Was there a mutual attraction? Let me ask that. Or was this just your crush?
Mutual attraction.
Okay.
But I must have the upper hand because if I don't, then it's no fun.
You sound a little crazy to me.
That sounds crazy.
You said a couple things that makes me believe you have some control issues and you're a little bit crazy. But go ahead. That's just me doing my analytics.
That's fine. You know, do what you do. It's just not, it's never good to mix work and pleasure, right? Because you need your job and pleasure could turn into a million different other things, including ruining your marriage. So.
It ain't worth it.
Shit.
Well, this is a little shit.
What you think, B?
Right.
Okay.
Shit. I'm going for shit.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, just try to keep that shit platonic as possible. Like, it's, I mean, if you want to reach out to your boss and tell him, that I don't know, it's kind of weird because you can be like, I don't want to work with him because I find him attractive. I mean, honesty is.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Let's back. Have you ever been attracted or messed with somebody you work with? You're trying to dance.
Nah, I wasn't trying to dance.
I'm like,
you didn't ask me that question.
I know.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I've had indiscretions, but I mean, but before.
How did that work out for you?
I married one of them, so.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so
it can work out.
Yeah, it can work out, but I wasn't married at the time, so but I had my troubles prior to that. But, we reconciled and did whatever.
What issues did you run into as far as it being a work situation?
Oh, that shit you be in meetings and it'd be more than one or two that you've been in there with, and that shit is just uncomfortable. So it's shitting where you eat.
Listen, I know where B used to work, and that shit was a whole whorehouse.
Yeah, that's a fact, Jack. So,
not a good
not just directed towards B. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, that shit used to go down. Like, I have stories.
Yeah.
And stories.
You know when you work in one of those places like that, and that's not the best place if you can't control yourself.
I was young
or
and shit, so yeah, and then
niggas had a field day up in there
for sure,
skipping and damn hopping hormones.
Yeah, I was, yeah, hell yeah, and I know a bunch. Like I said, I got not even stories of my own. You know what I mean? So whatever.
Listen, I got a bunch of y'all stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I know a lot of stories about a lot of people.
Yeah. For sure.
Over there.
But I mean, as far as that, like, it's just to do that. One, obviously you're married, so you don't want to ruin your marriage because it can get funky. And shit. It's just uncomfortable. Yeah, it just gets uncomfortable when you got to work. So then
speaking to somebody in marriage it's not worth it. So next thing you know, you got alienation of affection, letters showing up at the door, and shit is completely ruined. Now
alienation of affection. I know that is a legal term right there.
Yes, we talked about it on our last podcast. Yeah. It's not a fun thing. It's actually exciting for the investigator, but it's not a fun thing for the people involved.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Listen, I've made the mistake twice. I promise not to make it a third time.
Damn it. Be honest. Honesty is the best policy.
Listen, I made the mistake twice. And one was a relationship and the other was
situationship. Something
that just situationship that, just kind of went left. Like the second time I knew like, hey, you shouldn't do this. And then one thing leads to another.
Found out the stove was hot.
And you get caught up. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But, even though one was a relationship, it still presented problems. Mm-hmm. Like, just think about the relationship problems that you have and y'all don't even work together. Yeah. Where you like, well, who is that? Why are they talking to you? Why are they talking to you so long? Why are they always here? Why are y'all? And just think of having to be in the same work environment with that.
Yep.
Where you're trying to make a living and, you got
that's
people
why you don't
rolling
do
up
it.
on you. Yeah. I mean, again, like me, I was young. I mean, it was a great relationship. It lasted me 4 years. However, it still presented problems.
Yeah,
and then the second time my dumb ass decided to do it, it was something that I knew was not going to go anywhere. It was just, a physical attraction. Mm-hmm. And that went totally left. Like,
just flesh.
Totally left.
Shit happens.
Yeah, the flesh is weak, man.
It is weak.
The flesh is weak, but not enough for me to do it a third time. But I'm blessed in the fact that I work with all unseasoned
chicken.
Unattractive, unshapely, No shade to
you said that shadely.
Well, it's no temptation where I work at. You know what I mean? So that's good. You know?
That's helpful.
Yeah, that shit helps.
that is very helpful. But how should she tell, I think B touched on it, should she tell her manager she can't be on the project and she feel like she can't really control herself?
Yeah. I mean,
because I feel like you can't control your feelings.
That's a saving grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather get it out there early, like, yo, I think I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice my job for my loins. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you got to be like, yo, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be put in this position where I may compromise my.
But what you telling your boss though? What is she telling?
It depends on how you cool. It depends on how like cool you are with your boss.
I would never tell my boss that, my manager that. Like, yeah, so I'm scared I might,
Yeah,
fuck this person.
Fuck the lady.
I don't know what the fuck to say, to be honest with you. That's a very precarious position to be in.
At that point, you lie.
What lie would you use?
I think, yeah. Because it's going to have to show up bad on somebody.
Yeah,
and then when it's time for your performance review, it's like, well, you turned down this project. We really needed you on. Right. And then that affects your bread if you get some type of bonus or something.
Well, I just keep it extremely, you just got to, like, you got to set the ground rules. Maybe even tell, like, bro, like, all right, listen, like, I'll be honest with you. I'm possibly falling, like, I'm attracted to you, but I can't because it's, compromising my life. Yeah. So we have to keep this, but like turn your charm down, my nigga.
Are you willing to have that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, you gonna have, somebody gonna have to talk. Like, somebody's gonna have to.
Because it's already there.
Yeah.
You know when the vibe there.
Why can't you just control yourself? Is controlling yourself not an option?
He's still gonna be fine. She's still gonna be fine. And they still gonna be in the mix. So? You can't control you can't, I feel like you can't control your feelings. Like, you can control how you react to your feelings, but you can't control your feelings. So all she's gonna do is try to act like it's not impacting her and then go home and she's still gonna be alienating her husband because she's gonna be thinking about this nigga.
That's not your problem. That's not your problem.
That's her problem.
That's her problem.
It is, but that's not your problem as the person that has to work that group and manage that project.
I
that's
get
not
that.
Your problem.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it needs to be a conversation. She needs to talk to bruh. Like, look, we're going to have to set these. Like we're going to have to draw this line in the sand. Like, boom, I'm attracted to you, but I can't be attracted to you. And, I mean.
Why can't we just have fun?
That clearly it's not, that shit ain't happening or working well for her. So you need to draw a line in the sand, I guess.
And she can hit him with the, like, it's the not you, it's me type thing. Like, hey, listen.
That doesn't work.
And I feel like they kind of they have a rapport right now where he know what's popping, she know what's popping, but they ain't crossed that line yet. And I'm with B. I feel like she can have that conversation to be like, look, here's the deal. We gonna have to work on this project again. I'm a married woman. I'm kind of feeling away. And I just want us to keep this strictly professional. Not that it's on you. You haven't done anything that I haven't condoned. Mm-hmm. I'm just checking myself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he should be able to respect that.
Yep.
I mean, he a nigga, so he's still gonna be.
Yeah, he's still gonna be him. He's still gonna be charming the fuck out of her and shit. That's just how it goes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen.
Well, she's a woman, so she should hopefully would have a little bit more control than he does.
That's true.
But she can't control her thoughts. You can control your actions, but you can't control your thoughts.
Thoughts are thoughts, but I'm talking about keeping the job.
Yeah.
At this point.
You gotta prioritize.
Right.
But see, this not only impacting the job, she's imagining fucking this nigga while she fucking her nigga.
Well, enjoy the moment.
We've all done
you
that.
Can't control your mind.
You've not done that?
Ooh. All right, new question.
As long as you don't highlight that man's name, you good to go.
It wasn't nothing I felt good about. I didn't purposely do it. I was in her situation
I done fucked Janet Jackson a couple times in my life.
Yeah,
but.
Well,
a lot of people do that. A lot of people, that's their sexual relationships is imagining it with somebody else.
Like, you got to take especially if you've been with somebody for years and years and years, you got to, you know what
I mean? It's so sad. That hurts my feelings.
It may not be like Gina from up the street, but.
You fuck Janet Jackson.
Like, you know what I mean? It's got to be, you know what I mean? Seen Lisa Ray looking mighty tasty.
I've never done that before. Yeah. I've actually, I've had the doing one thing with somebody, imagine somebody else. It wasn't purposeful though. It's kind of like her shit where I'm like, oh shit, I'm thinking about, but ain't never been nobody famous.
Yeah, I'm goddamn.
I've had a few dreams of my own. You know,
but were you actually in the process of having sex when you thinking about?
Yes.
I don't know, Idris Elba, whoever you thinking about.
Yeah.
No, he's got the old man boobs.
Wait, Idris Elba got man boobs?
Oh shit.
He's getting old on me. I was excited for him about 10 years ago.
Or some shit.
Oh shit.
The Rock.
Thinking about? Who
He's
you
too
thinking
light
about,
skinned.
Jamie?
I don't know. He's an imaginatory man that I haven't yet. You know what? He's on the Caribbean somewhere in Jamaica. I don't even know what he looks like.
Shit,
really, I can't see his face.
He need a green card.
He just said, well, you know, I could work with a green card. You know, he could just be really black and like really muscular, and he doesn't really have to have a face.
Oh shit.
All you need to do is go to a resort then and get a fucking wait staff person.
No, thank you. Absolutely not. I do not want a wait staff guy. That's not gonna work.
Hey,
that's funny.
My guy's he's all in my mind. You know?
Shit, that's what it needed to be.
I enjoy my mind. This is like a safe space for me to imagine.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Shit. To each his own. Fuck it. What's y'all last bit of advice for Kelsey? Jamie, you can go first.
My last bit of advice: leave the man alone. Keep your job. You know.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Right.
Shit, sometimes less is more.
People, you know, risk their jobs every day and don't realize that they're actually risking their jobs. I mean, it's not that important. You know, the imagination might be good and it might be a fun thing to think about, but it's not going to be worth, you know, losing your life. I mean, losing your family. I mean, all that stuff. Because, I mean, we live in a world where people will take you all the way out. You know, and especially once you start messing with people and their feelings and all that stuff, and they thought you was feeling this way, and you know, now you decided to go the other way. That people don't like that.
True.
So first of all, I feel like people need to understand that feelings change. I feel like once people
don't understand that
they don't. No, you're 100% right. I just feel like that should be something people should know.
Yeah, real people realize that feelings change and they can move on from that. But like a lot of people, they get so, you know, looped into what's going on, and next thing you know, they just think that's their life, and then they just
can't let it go.
Feed off of that, regardless of, you know, if it's ruining you or your family. They don't be caring about all that. So you have to care first about you and your family and all of these major decisions that you've made, you know. And that's the thing with my job. Like, I've realized that it doesn't matter. Your feelings, they're like a small part of what really matters. And what really matters is the fact, you know, the decisions that you've made, the children that you have that are depending on you to do all of these things. And if all that stuff ain't lining up, a nut is just not worth it.
It's pretty accurate.
What's your advice? Advice, B?
Yeah, just have a conversation.
It's not worth it.
Just have a conversation with them, man. You know what I'm saying? And just say.
Or not. Shit, fuck them. I ain't got to explain shit to you.
True, too.
Just leave them alone.
The conversation ain't for him. The conversation is for her.
Well, tell her to leave it alone.
The conversation is going to
girl, leave
her.
it alone. Leave it alone. Do your job. Be a great project manager, whatever it is that you're doing, and move on with your life. Because there will be another beautiful black man for you to, you know, drool over later on in life. And, you know, you got kids. How much is daycare? Daycare is expensive.
I don't think she said nothing about no kids. You said kids.
I know.
And I'm
adding children to her life. These things happen. She might have a damn blood in the oven.
She done added to Kelsey. She done added to your life, bro.
I don't really. I'm trying to remember what was the question.
White
about.
Russians have kicked in.
Right, the White Russians have kicked in. B,
it's been a long day.
I ain't got nothing else for you.
Nothing.
Kelsey, I think that I think you should have a conversation with him. Both, obviously, y'all both have an attraction to each other.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like you just need to have a conversation with him. So when you like go strictly professional or you go kind of cold, he don't think, you know, it creates like a work friction. He knows exactly why you're being like super professional versus the way that you were prior. Or
what's his job compared to hers?
It doesn't give all that. They didn't send me any job descriptions or
they
anything
send their resume
like that with this letter. Right. She needs
well, like if they're on the same level, like who cares?
I mean, they're working on projects together.
Yeah, so let's assume that they're equal.
That's a lot of anxiety. You know, that's where the anxiety comes in. Is like having to like confront the problem. Can't you just like ignore it? Is that another thing?
So, what is your sign? What's your sign?
Pisces.
Okay, I don't know a lot about that because you was giving me Libra vibes. They don't like confrontation. Like some things are not like confrontation.
Some things don't deserve confrontation.
It's just the conversation. Words are free. I don't see why anybody wouldn't express themselves when they have the opportunity to express themselves and make things easier in the long run. It might be hard at that moment. Suck it up. Be a fucking adult. Say what you got to say. That makes it easier for everybody versus people assuming. When people start assuming what's going on, that's when shit start going left.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, Jamie's advice, avoid the shit and just do your work and just act like a cold bitch afterwards, after I was just flirting. Me and B say have a conversation with him. And you know it gotta be different for me and B to be on the same exact page.
But here's my thing. Because you know what happens? You know what happens whenever you start having those conversations with people in certain like workspaces? Then they start like, oh, now I feel a certain kind of way. Now I gotta go and tell somebody that I'm feeling this kind of way. And it almost ends up where you kind of end up getting dragged into it to, you know, even though you don't intend on being dragged into it. So that would be more of a concern to me than just being like, fuck it, I don't want to talk to you about this shit. And then, you know, I'm smiling at you.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather somebody go talk to somebody with the truth you presented them or go talk to somebody with what they're assuming the problem?
I prefer you to go assume.
I don't.
Because, I mean, you can't. Yeah, but I mean, factual means that I had to admit to something.
So you just don't want to admit to shit. You don't want to take accountability for your feelings.
I feel like in a workplace, no, I don't, because I don't trust you. And so who knows what you may say with the information that I tell you. You could have been damn recording that shit. And now, you know, you got me saying that I'm interested in you. I don't know. I just feel like it's best, which is why, again, I just would not even address it really at all. Like, it's going to be one of those things, like, you're just going to be wondering in your mind all this time, you know, what is this really? And then you just can't, you know, I don't know. I'd be concerned more about my job.
As the compliance and ethics manager at corporations, I know how this is going to, I feel like if she doesn't address it, he's going to assume, and then he's going to make up all these other reasons why she's acting the way that she's acting. And then it's going to come to somebody like me and it's going to be like, oh yeah, she was trying to get at me and now she's acting like this and now she's trying to throw me under the bus and all of this other shit. And
then I'm going to come to you and then the other person will come to you and say, look, I never had that conversation with him. You know, I mean, I smile at him when he comes in. Everything is all well. Like, I don't really know what he's talking about.
And then he's going to show the text messages of all
there won't
all
be
these
any text messages. There won't be any.
Why won't it? You can't erase his. You can't
they've
erase
already
his
been text messages.
Yeah, they've been
Did
texting.
I miss that? Oh, well, she fucked up already.
Listen,
don't text it. Leave 0. You can't. I mean, the problem is when you start leaving evidence, then now you got to come up with lies. But you got to understand
that people are not thinking of this originally as a case. Yeah. They're thinking of it as just human interaction.
I live in a case.
Yeah,
you live in a case.
Right.
I live in a case, but I still know how to be human outside of that shit. The world is bad according to Jamie.
Interesting hot take from my friend Jamie today.
Right,
like
exactly.
I'm sorry.
Listen, Kelsey,
I mean,
hit us back. Let us know what you decide. I mean, all we can do is give you our 2 cents.
I just want you to keep your job, Kelsey.
But it's how you keep your job. I feel like either scenario, you can keep or lose your job. So let us know. Get back with us. I really want you to get back with us and let us know.
Please, Kelsey. I would like to know
how this goes. I personally predictions. I think that Kelsey is going to avoid it. I think that she's going to continue to flirt with this dude, and I feel like it's going to go left. That's what I feel like. I think it's going to come to a dick pic,
see,
like B. Hill say.
If it comes to a dick pic, then it's over. Everybody's job is lost. That's not worth it.
Unless the dick pic is what she wanted to see.
Nobody ever really wants to see a dick pic. I mean, we can act like we want to see a dick pic, and we might want to see a dick pic like within like the 10 seconds of time that you were horny enough to want to see a dick pic. But like from your workplace, it's
too much, huh?
It's just not safe.
Gotcha.
Just leave it alone. Yeah, like just be normal. Stop. Don't do all that. You're going to be in trouble. Just stop.
All right. Well, that's that. Let us know how it works.
It always goes bad, Fresh. It always goes bad.
She's a pessimist.
Unless you end up marrying her.
And that can go bad too. Anything can go bad. Literally anything can go bad. Yeah?
I don't like bad.
Well, listen. If y'all want some more of this A1 advice, hit us at theaintshitshow@gmail.com. That's the X for the I would be, and your letter may get read on the show.
Yep.
Y'all ready to get into some free smoke so Jamie can express herself?
Oh, she hasn't expressed herself today?
I think. You haven't had enough.
Never would have known.
All right. Free smoke is where we talk about any hot button issues, personal topics, anything. It could be for anything from politics to petty. And today, Jamie, the PI, is
PI is private investigator today. For those who don't know.
Private investigator. Oh, so you've heard a lot of Jamie's hot takes. She's the PI with the hot takes and all of that. Jamie, tell us how you got into this. How did you become a private investigator?
The Lord gave me my job.
Okay. Expound.
Expound on that.
You've been talking all day.
Right. Boom. No. So, I have always worked with people and watching people and just kind of, so I started lifeguarding when I was like 14. So that was my beginning of people watching. And I had a major loss in my life. My mom passed away when I was like 25 or 27. I don't remember. And it took me a little bit of time to kind of like reintegrate myself because I was a super spoiled person. And so I met a person at a networking group that I just happened to go to with a friend of mine for a birthday party. And she introduced me to my supervisor, Mr. Blackman. And I started working with him at that point, and I've been doing PI work ever since. Oh, so I started doing bail bondsman, about 2 years before I started doing PI work, and bail bondsman was kind of awesome. So it kind of started me into like skip tracing and looking for people. So skip tracing is when you're basically looking for somebody who you can't find. So
a bounty hunter?
No, in North Carolina, you can't really bounty hunt because they don't want you to have guns and force people to do things, right? So you just kind of have to locate them and pick them up, however the best way it is that you can do that. So I've never been the one to arrest anybody. I'm usually the bait. So I go in there and I be cute and I smile.
Wait, y'all do the honeypot thing?
Oh yeah. That's
Operation
the best way.
Honeypot?
We love honeypot. Honeypot is easy.
Tell them what honeypot is.
Yeah, I've never heard this. I'm intrigued.
You never heard of honeypot?
No.
No, I didn't. I'm assuming that you just pretty face go in there, chit chat with the person that you need to talk to. And meanwhile, you're on the phone with your bondsman person or whoever it is that actually needs that person, and you tell them where they are and what you're doing, and you just kind of are the eyes inside until they bust in there and pick them up, or you go outside and they pick them up, or whatever happens. So my favorite case was... So
you're like a faux prostitute?
Yeah, just without...
It's a super faux prostitute. I haven't revealed anything, barely even my name. Literally, all you do is just go in there and smile. We picked up one guy at a funeral one time, and that was
that's
awesome.
Fucked up.
It was. I felt really bad.
It?
Girl, I don't know. Somebody.
What were you? How were you in the funeral? Set the scene for us.
Okay, so I forget exactly. We were somewhere in the country. I don't exactly remember where we were. It was a small little. Yeah, bro. Okay, so it was a small little church. Yeah, that works. We were at a small little church, and we knew that the guy was in there because somebody in his immediate family had died. I'm assuming they probably got this information off of Facebook, more than likely, and then followed up with a good little obituary or something on somebody's funeral page. And so we pulled up to the church. We waited until the service started, right? Because you want to make sure everybody's in there. And then I walked in, and matter of fact, it was about 3 of us that walked in, and the church was one of those little bitty like country churches. So there really wasn't a lot of room for everybody to sit. So we kind of ended up like walking around the outside of the pews.
Nobody asked you who you were, like who you related to or why you there?
Have you ever been in a funeral and somebody asked you who you are and why you're there?
Well, usually when I'm at a funeral, they already look at my face and tell me which side of the family I'm on. So I'm usually going
to small town, so you know that shit.
Absolutely not. They're thinking you're there to pay your respects or whatever. So we go in there dressed the part, and so we walked in and we located our guy, and my kid's dad at the time was doing bonding, and so I think he approached the guy and he was like,
"Was that your coworker you were sleeping with? Was he your coworker?"
No. So me and my kid's dad, we got a weird relationship. No, we're just really great co-parents. So no, I wasn't sleeping with him at the time.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Try to trip her up in that, B. Like, you know what I mean?
No, because I probably would have said, no, I don't got time for that. Right. So we went in there and we identified the guy, and he tapped him on the shoulder and said, yo, excuse me, come here right quick. Can I come talk to you in the back? And of course he comes out because nobody wants to make a scene in front of their grandmother's funeral.
Damn.
And, he came out and they were basically like, you're under arrest. And we just took him from there. I mean, nobody even had it. The thing is, when you pick up people doing bonding, you don't want to pick up somebody during like a big commotion, right? So you don't want to wait till the end of the club while everybody's outside. You don't want to wait till, there's going to be a whole bunch of like people with their mouths talking and, being all that.
With their mouths talking.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. They're
just talking out their ass.
Right. People just, popping off in the mouth and ain't going to do nothing. Exactly.
Shit. You on the hook for that shit.
Right. And this man was like, it was probably $100,000 bond. I mean, we don't go for little bitty bonds to somebody's funeral. Right. And so they basically said who he was. He did not fight. He did not argue. He just hopped in the car and that was it. So,
and they probably like, what the
fuck? They did that for a little bit.
Right. Exactly.
Right. He's gone. he had things to take care of.
So how long you been doing this?
I've done bonding since about 2012. And I started doing PI 2014. So about 6 years.
Okay. What are the, if you had to do analytics and say like, what are the top 5 things people hit y'all up for? Whether it's corporate or individuals. Cheating. That's what domestic. I think. It's like cheaters.
Yeah, but it's not as exciting as cheaters. Usually those people aren't married, or the thing is with us, it's not as exciting if you're married. Right? Because anytime you bring the drama, to the couple, it's not really beneficial for anybody, right? It begins to look like, everybody's a problem. So whenever we get hired for domestic stuff, it ends up just being, documenting what's happening, what they're doing with their kids whenever they have their kids. Is it an alienation of affection type of thing, or is it just, I need to see what you're doing? And sometimes there's situations where the people really aren't doing anything. They just don't want you.
Yeah.
What does alienation of affection look like? Like, how do you guys prove that? It sounds like that's something you look into.
Right. So they'll call us and they'll say, look, I think that, I have an idea that he or she is probably cheating with this person. And we'll say, oh, okay, well, why do you feel that? Well, I found these phone calls. I've seen text messages, or, I've seen this car come by the house a couple of multiple times. And, I just want to know, could it be that person? And while we're doing our surveillance, say we pull up and we see them at this person's house, and all of a sudden, like this past week we had a lady that she's in a marriage. I'm not the case manager on this. I don't know all of the details, but she's definitely married and in the separation process. And she went to her boyfriend's house like Thursday night, and the bitch ain't left till Monday morning. She hasn't left. Her car has been parked in the same place the whole time she went over there. Right. Right. So, we just kind of document their activities. If they're doing anything that looks halfway suspicious, suspicious. Are you holding hands? Are you going out to dinner? Are you sleeping over the house overnight? Are
so
you
how
there?
accurate is cheaters? Because that sound like they be like, the suspect got into the car with its company and they held hands and kissed.
Those people are almost never married. And that to me is like the big thing.
Is
like
cheaters real? Like, do they follow the protocols that you guys follow as private investigators? Yeah.
The thing about cheaters that's different is we just don't do the confrontation part. Oh, right? So we're not going to that's the best, which is why we watch Charlie. Right.
That's what people watch.
Which is why that man got stabbed.
Right. Yeah,
right?
that shit was wild.
And I heard that was fake too. I heard that never
I don't believe
happened. Because there's no police
That man
report.
was on a boat. He was on a boat, which was dangerous.
Yeah.
Out there, in the water.
I remember when another nigga pulled a pistol out on his ass. Big, tall nigga. That nigga was from the country.
Right.
I bet he the fuck away from me.
I mean, that's not cool. We do our best to be covert and none of that to happen. So it's never a cheater's moment for us, unfortunately.
How has social media and the internet and everybody's a private investigator now? How has that impacted your work? Has it helped it, or
people? It hurts it because people lock down and block down their socials. So Facebook, you can block it to where like only your friends can see whatever it is that you're doing.
That's how mine is.
My shit is all the way blocked down. Like I have about 4 posts from like 2012 that you might can nobody cares about that anymore. But I mean, it's just. You'd be amazed. The drug dealers always have their pages wide open.
Facts.
The cheaters always have their pages locked down, blocked down, or either they don't have any because they know that, their spouse is already on their page or, whatever. So it just kind of depends. And even if you have your page open, cheaters who are married aren't going to be posting their cheating lives on social media. They're going to, doing all that stuff on the low and just nobody's going to know. So at that point, you just need straight surveillance and a GPS and just kind of figure out what they're doing, where they're going, who they're seeing, who are they spending the night with.
How long is the average case? Like, how long are you normally on something on average?
If you are hot and on it and monitoring what's going on and exactly what your person is doing, you can get that immediately, like within like 2 weeks. If you are, I'm not sure and
scared of what you're gonna find,
then you might be talking about 2 years before you can really find something that's going to be helpful. How does that
work at a per hour rate? Like,
usually they just kind of call us. What happens is we intake the client. We kind of figure out what's going on. What's the plan? Do you have an attorney? And then at that point, we just kind of work along with the attorney to help you with the evidence that you need. And what will happen is we check a lot of like, court cases, make sure you don't have any new DUIs popping up, make sure you don't have, things that could compromise your character, right? You want to make sure all that stuff kind of stays clear while you're within all this stuff. If you choose to go on a date or have a girlfriend, a date, usually it's honestly hard to catch somebody on a one date, thing. But usually they have a girlfriend or somebody that they've been dealing with the whole time. And so you just kind of get some evidence of them together, or, you know, so-and-so, again, staying the night over the house, and then your attorney can subpoena phone records from the other party. You link up that person's name and phone number, and you can basically show that these people have had some kind of contact over the last, you know, 2, 3, 4 years, or, you know, however long it's been, at least long enough to where you can say that it ruined your marriage, right? And then that person's in trouble. I mean,
so you do criminal shit too, though, right? Like you do like criminal cases and shit, like where you work with like defense counsel, defense attorneys and shit like that,
which is awesome. Yeah, which is sort of kind of my stress today, right? Because I spent 6 hours on the road, 2.5 going to Elizabeth City to meet my client in Albemarle County. Is that how you say it? Down there in Elizabeth City. Yeah. I got to see all the solar panels. That was kind of cool, and all those little windmill things that they had out there. I didn't even know all that stuff was out there.
Cheating with the solar panels out there?
Well, this is a criminal.
It's a criminal. Got you.
Yeah, he's a trafficking guy. You know, all that stuff. A lot of times, it's not that our client is going to be found not guilty, right? It's more of is he as bad as they thought he was?
Trying to lessen the blow.
You know. Yeah. And, you know, or either try to figure out what their life was and try to figure out how in the world they got to this space.
Characterization.
So that their sentencing can be either lessened or, you know, whatever. So, I mean, I dealt with, go ahead.
I was going to ask, so what's the role of when do you enlist a PI versus law enforcement when we're talking about like criminal things?
Well, law enforcement gets called in as soon as a crime is committed, right? So as soon as, you know, somebody is trafficking something or this guy had a confidential informant who was fucking snitching on his ass from, I said, how did you not know? I mean, I was confused as to how this man even got that close, but you know, you never know. It just depends on the people that you're working with. But, so that's police stuff. We get kind of involved after the attorney has been hired and they kind of figure out what the state has against them. And then at that point, it's either finding a loophole, finding, you know, some kind of evidence or a witness that can, you know, dispute whatever the state is saying. And then at that point, you know, you just do your best to try to prove it. A lot of it is, can you come to court and testify? You know, that doesn't really work a lot of times. A lot of people are not willing to come to court and testify because it puts their jobs in jeopardy. It puts their kids in jeopardy. It puts, you know, life in jeopardy at that point. And unless you are a relative of the person or a baby mama or a wife or something like that, you're not even willing to go through all that. So we just do our best to try to find some evidence that will uphold in court.
Yeah.
And, you know, we let the attorney do their thing. So our job is kind of there to bridge the gap between the attorney and, you know, the evidence, basically, and let them know that we're here for them. And, you know, we're not trying to get them in any further trouble, but you do have to kind of be honest with us and let us know what's going on, because you don't want your attorney to go in there looking like a fool. Gotcha. And turn around and you've done all these things and not been honest about it, and then that's just going to bury you deeper. So,
have you ever investigated any public figures?
No, not me personally. Okay. Mr. Blackman worked on the Duke lacrosse case.
Interesting. That was on the lacrosse player side or on the victim side? That sound about right, because they can afford PI. Right.
Exactly. So, you know, if you can afford it, if you can, you know, if you're willing to be honest with it, they can definitely help you. It just kind of depends on how much you're willing to say and
pay.
Yeah. You know, how much is at risk. Yeah. And how much you're willing to pay. So, but we do like a lot of federal cases too. So it's not really about pay at that point. It's just checking boxes and make sure that, you know, everybody has checked into all of the options, right?
Yeah. You brought up Mr. Blackman, and you purchased you bought this detective agency. What's the benefit and the value in purchasing a detective agency versus just starting one yourself?
Clients.
Okay.
The clients are already there.
Gotcha.
We've been operating
They're
since
repeat
93.
clients, most of them.
Right. They are repeat clients or
Referrals.
they are referrals, right? And they just say, we've worked with Mr. Blackman before, how can you help us? So Mr. Blackman and the guy who was our vice president before, Mr. Bissett, they were both Raleigh police for like 30 years, working homicide, narcotics, and all types of stuff. So I kind of got to train under them. And then, because unfortunately with PI work, it's not like one of those things where you need to go to school and, because you have a degree, like you're good to go. It's more about the experience. It's more about who you know, who you've worked with, what type of cases you've done. It really has nothing to do with your educational background. So
Mm-hmm.
Is Mr. Blackman white or black? Like there's only two races.
I know.
He's Caucasian.
He's white.
He's white. I
He's
knew
a
he
white
was
man.
white. I knew he was going to be white.
Yeah. It's really kind of awesome because, we are literally two different sides to this whole space, right? He's a cop. I'm just a regular lay person. He's a white man. I'm a black lady.
Has that impacted you at all? Like, that was my next question for you. Like,
oh my gosh,
has being a black woman impacted this, whether people hire you or...
Oh, yeah.
Or does it make you more undercover or what? They like you better?
They love me because I look like them. Wait,
so a lot of your clients are black? Most of your clients are black?
Yeah, I guess. Most of our criminal clients are black.
I feel like you're making up shit right now.
Nah, I think she's talking about what she do criminal and she does.
No, I mean,
shit.
Our domestic stuff is usually Caucasian people.
Okay,
because
that makes sense.
It kind of seems like, they have the money to spend. They have
black people just get their homegirls and they have to look up shit.
Exactly. Because that's what I would do. I got plenty of girls that I can call and be like, bitch, I need you to go and find so-and-so and what they got going on. But in terms of our criminal cases, most of the attorneys are white and I'm black. So it kind of ends up being like I'm this bridge between, and I'm not a cop and I never was a cop. So I can't pretend to be a cop and I don't have cop experience. Right. But if we need to bring in that whole cop experience just to have the opinion of, then, I can bring in Mr. Blackman and he can kind of say, okay, did you think about this? Did you think about that? It's kind of like the best of both worlds. So to me, if they get us as Blackman Detective Services, it's almost the best you're going to get because you have the best of both worlds. You have somebody who's thinking on, the prosecutor side, and then you have somebody who's thinking on just the regular, just you as a person. I kind of relate to you. I am not a threat, right? Like when he kind of goes in there, I can see that it appears to be like they don't know where he's coming from. Like, are you working for the state? Are you working for me? And I come in there and I'm like, look, I'm not going to railroad you, right? I don't want you to, my goal is not for you to spend the rest of your life in jail. So I want to do everything that I can to help you. Now, a lot of times these people have completely done the crime, right? It's just shortening your time or, making the blow a little bit lesser.
Gotcha. Do you ever incorporate any of your skills that you've learned over these years? Like, do they ever find themselves in your romantic relationships? Like, where you trust people, or you investigate people or whatever?
No.
You don't do no background checks on anybody you dating?
Oh, I thought you were talking about work.
No. See, you still fucking your coworkers.
I was doing my PI. Yes. I do background check the people that I date. Especially if I'm staying over somewhere or anything like that, I need to know, because I can't, I just bought this company, and even though I've been working for it for a while, and, I can still do it even if I didn't own the company, I'm not willing to risk all of Blackman's reputation for 30 years just for some dick.
I like that.
I mean, I just can't. That's just not a good idea.
Do you investigate off butts? Like, you meet somebody in a coffee shop, y'all done traded enough information where you can look up some things, or is it until you about to go get your panties up, you look them up? Like, at what point do you start
put your
PI
if I really like them, I go ahead and look them up. Or if I just am sitting at the office and I'm bored and I don't have anything to do, why don't I just try you? And
I feel like regular people do Google searches. I know I do Google searches all the time.
Yeah. So, legally, we aren't supposed to be looking up people for personal gain, right?
Not even in Google?
Oh, Google is fine.
Yeah.
Nobody
but not using your personal
not
systems.
using the databases that we have access to as PIs. So we kind of have some things that can, show your personal information, social security numbers and date of births and stuff like that. And so you're not supposed to use that for personal gain. I kind of like the challenge of just figuring you out on my own. If I can know everything right off the bat, what fun is that?
Yeah.
Keep your credit from dropping. That's what.
I got my own place to stay. I got my own vehicle. I don't need you to buy nothing for me. So I'm not really concerned about all that.
Gotcha.
I stay on the safe side. Gotcha. Nobody has time to ruin my whole life behind penis.
Hey, my first goal is your social media. When I meet you, I'm gonna be like, "What's your Instagram?" And that's the first place I'm going. And then I'm going to see what you're about from there. And then my investigation goes from there to see what's
I get
up.
that.
I
don't know. I feel like social media is what people want to show you.
Exactly.
So
if you like a shallow really shit ass motherfucker, like.
Well, I can tell that by meeting you. I don't need to go on your social media to tell that.
Oh, well, you good then. You're super good. That's what's
I
up.
enjoy figuring out people. Why not?
That's what's
what
up.
else is exciting?
That's what's up. No, that's really what's up. So Jamie owns.
I own Blackman Detective Services.
And tell the people how they can reach out to Blackman Detective Services, what they can reach out to you for, and anything you want them to know about your podcast or about Blackman Detective Agency or services. Okay. Why is it not agency versus services? Agency sound real covert.
You know what? I took over the name that was already there.
Oh, okay.
So, it was Blackman Detective Services. When I bought it, I changed the official name to Blackman Detective and PI Services.
Okay.
SEO is important in this world of,
search engine optimization people.
I was like, what?
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Very good. All I know is the SEO. Yeah. So, I didn't want to change the name of the company too much because I didn't want to change any of that. And really, we are the same company. We just are run by somebody else. And, less is more, I guess. I felt in that space.
Okay.
So what do we do? For small businesses, we can help you with, hiring people. So background checks, DMVs, no matter where it is, if it's in North Carolina or nationwide. What do we do? We do everything.
If you don't know, we don't know.
I know. So I was talking to Fresh earlier. We have issues with, just kind of like picking a subject. So that's why, the Sleuth podcast is so awesome, because it kind of gives us an opportunity to speak in detail about what it is we do, what kinds of things that we do, and just kind of give you, just a little heads up on what to expect, or, is this optionable or not? Is that a word?
I don't think so, but it's like
sometimes
definitely not a word, but okay. Listen, we can rock out with it. We can rock with it.
Okay, good. All right. So, as a small business, you can do background checks. We can do internal theft. A lot of times you as a business owner aren't necessarily ready to bring the police into your drama. Right. So it's nice to bring in a private investigator. We can come in, figure out what the problem is, quote unquote, fix the problem, or at least identify it. And then at that point, it gives you as a business owner the decision if you want to take it, further and go ahead and get it into the court process, or if you feel like you can operate, something within your group that will work for you. So North Carolina is like an at-will state, so they can fire you if they want to and hire you if they want to. There's not like any rules about that, right? True. So a lot of times people aren't willing to lose the whole person. They just want you to kind of
scare the shit out of them.
What you're doing, right, and get it fixed up. So we do that. For individuals, we can, if you're dating, we can check up on these, boyfriends or online people that you could be dating or want to,
Do y'all ever have men contact y'all? Because you've been saying it like it's women most of the time. Checking up on men. Well, I speak
women, I guess, because I'm a woman. But no, we actually get more men than we do women, in my opinion. Yeah.
Women out here cheating like that?
Oh,
yes. Hey, shout out to women.
Yes. We are making it worse.
That's what's up. Equal opportunities scumbagging out here. I like that.
Civil rights.
Yeah, equal opportunity scumbag.
I'm a feminist. Everybody need to be a scumbag.
Yeah, that, we actually get more men because they're usually the money makers, and they usually just kind of want to know what to do. A lot of times they don't even plan on leaving the person. They just want to know what's happening, which is kind of weird. Because they have children, they have money, wrapped up in all this, what they're doing. I mean, a lot of people buy houses and, flipping houses, and all that stuff is, under both of you guys as a married couple. I mean, when you file your taxes and stuff like that, that's under both people. So all of that stuff is going to matter if you decide to split. Yeah. And so a lot of times they just kind of want to know what's going on, and they want to try to handle it on their own before.
So they're going to beat her? Like, I'm trying to figure out how you handle it on your own.
No, they just say,
look. Find out she's fucking around.
They're like, look, bitch. Like, look, bitch.
Got all this information on you.
Exactly what's happening. Either you're going to straighten up, or you're going to be fucking out on your ass. And the thing is, again, in North Carolina, if you're the moneymaker and, your wife or so-and-so hasn't been working for the last 10, 15, 20 years, they're out. I mean, they're out. The thing is, by the time they get any money from you, it's a year or so down the line. By then, everything is gone. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I mean, a lot of times we get a lot of...
Yeah, shit tough.
I mean, we get a lot of couples that have been married 20 plus years, and all of a sudden the husband no longer wants to play this game anymore. And he's out here with this new lady, and he's just like, yep, you know what? I'm just going to cut the account. She gets no access. And meanwhile, you're at home with these 3 children under the age of 20, right? And you've got all these children to take care of and no money. And so you're just out here with nothing, and you would be amazed at how many people would let their family suffer for time and time just so that they can be out here playing with their new boo and buying her whatever she wants and taking trips and doing all these things. So, everybody's always looking at us with like the damn third eye about putting a GPS on somebody's car. Yet you don't mind.
Y'all can put GPS on somebody's car. It's legal to put GPS on somebody's car.
You gotta be certified.
Right. And it's not even about being certified. If we are hired to do a job, and that job is, the point of the job, the goal of the job is to try to figure out what this person is doing so that, this woman can take care of her children. We're not ever wrong. I mean, there's some
so
case
legally, y'all can just put GPSs on people's cars and.
Well, we can put GPSs on a vehicle that is co-owned or registered to like this man or this woman and the family.
Gotcha.
For the purpose of trying to figure out what you're doing so that, the other person can have some kind of evidence to their situation.
Real quick, and then we're going to wrap up. Have you ever been caught?
Not really. I mean, you can say caught, but all of our investigators are prepared to give you a story. So
do y'all lie? Or what do y'all say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you lie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of course, immediately. I mean, no, you can't be like, oh yes, I'm a PI. I'm here to watch you. Like, that's not going to work because
you be like, no habla español.
Right. No, I mean, you can come up with anything because what can you say? Yeah, you saw me in my car, but can you prove for that moment that I'm here watching you? No.
Has anybody ever confronted you like, look, listen, bitch, I done seen you 3 times. What the fuck?
No.
You out here with the IHOP Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity mustache, like looking like a different person every time you show up. No.
Yep.
No, I have one investigator. She loves wigs, and she swaps out different wigs, and I'm like, "But you're in the same car."
Hey, she on her role play shit. Shout out to her, man.
All you gotta do is whip around that block one time. You would be amazed about how much people are not paying attention to their surroundings.
I believe it.
It's
brown
very
Ford
wild.
Taurus 4 times tonight, they saying.
People ain't looking for that. All they see is headlights in the back. And next thing you know, I mean, we have had videos of people like literally as close as you and I are looking to each other, and they're doing whatever it is
and
they're
they hit
supposed
the
to
Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Well, is this you right here in the video? If we got to go to court, we go to court and testify. If we have to, I mean, even if we can't get it on video, but we know that it happened, all our investigators are, prepped and ready to go to court and testify as to what they saw. And if a PI goes up there in court and says, I saw this person, it was that, it was you and him, and y'all was together and y'all was doing this, I mean, you don't have a leg to stand on.
Well, that's what's up. Well, listen. What's your website? What's the Blackman Detective Services website?
So it's www.blackmanpi.com. So we have many, many ways that you can reach out to us. So our main office number, you can call us there, 821-0016, or you can send, like if you're a business owner, you want to start doing business background checks, you can do investigator at blackmanpi.com. We got a Facebook page. You can hit us up on LinkedIn, or if you want to do the whole sleuth thing and stay, super covert and, you're not ready yet, you can always hit us up on askthesleuth@gmail.com or instant
y'all answer questions for free?
Yes, of course. We do free consults. So even if you come in with a serious something, you come in there, we'll kind of talk to you, tell us what the best thing is for you. And then we can just go from there. A lot of times people just don't know what is best, what they should do. And a lot of times people's whole lives haven't been just up and changed, right? In 20 some years. So just call us and, we are more than happy to speak to you or point you in the right direction. We've got great links with different attorneys in the area and criminal attorneys and all types of people that can kind of get you straight and make sure that you aren't going to be carrying these charges with you for a lifetime. So that's
what's up. Well, thank you, Jamie.
Appreciate you coming on the show.
You coming on the show.
That was dope.
Yes.
Episode 100.
I need to come back.
Thank y'all for listening. Episode 100. Anything you want to say to the listeners?
I appreciate you, man. Y'all already know. I tell y'all, I express my appreciation and gratitude for you all quite often. So nothing's changed. Appreciate you. Continue to listen. Fuck with us. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Facts. All that will be said. Thank y'all very much. I can't believe we've done this 100 times. I can't believe I've done this 100 times when it was 0.
Yay.
And I think that is dope, just sitting back and reflecting on it 100 times. Like, that's super, that touches me personally.
And as someone who has listened to y'all since episode 1, I'm loving it. So
that's crazy.
I skipped
Thank
a few,
you.
but it was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
My dog.
Love the Ain't Shit Show.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. Check us out at www.ain'tshitshow.com. And that's the X where the I would be. Follow us on social. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can find us on all the platforms, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all that. And you know, like B said, tell a friend to tell a friend. And because it was MLK Day, shout out to MLK. I'm going to leave us with a quote from MLK, and it says, faith is taking the first step, even though you don't see the whole staircase. And until next week, manifest your destiny, and the marathon continues. And we out.